He suddenly woke up. He suddenly woke up. He was stunned by the Thunder God hammer. Very unhappy. However, Golden Dragon Protector, even if Long Fei's cultivation was very weak now, she would definitely not let him die. If not, would not be called Golden Dragon Protector, and even more so not worth 8 Golden Dragon Protectoress. If not for the Golden Dragon, Long Fei would have gone to sea marks. Seeing Murong Tian descending from the sky, Long Fei shouted, "Open up a little death for me." The idea moved. Shaking the heavens. Boom! A steel monster rushed out from Long Fei's space ring. In front of Long Fei, Murong Tian's claws were smashed down, blocked by heaven shaking. Murong Tian's forehead turned sinister. His attack did not succeed, and his body bounced. Jumping out of the pit, he shouted disdainfully, "He actually did not die? He didn't die? He's not dead yet. Is this kid made of iron?" Even if Tai Chue were to be bombarded by such a powerful force, he would still turn into scrap iron. He actually managed to get up. Damn, that's too cruel. Long Fei slowly walked out of the pit, with Zhen Qian, who was standing behind him, protecting him on his left and right. Looking at the battle that was happening far away, Long Fei felt extremely unhappy in his heart. However, he did not intervene because he was even more unhappy about late Mo. Long Fei looked at Murong Tian, who was cheated on the other side, and sneered, "I don't have time to care about you right now. Do you understand? Not kill. No, because killing him would be a waste. Before fusing with the second-level fairy route, all his experience would be wasted, and he wouldn't be able to level up at all. Only by breaking through the spiritual level would he be able to do so. All. Not kill first, keep it alive." Murong Tian looked at the expression in Long Fei's eyes and said solemnly, "You overconfident dog. Do you think you can beat me now?" Long Fei ignored him completely. Looking at Shun Tianfei, who was not far away, he shouted loudly, "Fatty, don't worry about me. I'm going to turn over this big one." Long Fei looked at Lei Mo, who was not far away, and his heart stirred with displeasure as he roared, "Ha! Lei Mo, right? Hee hee. All right, I'll see how long you can continue acting like this." And then, Long Fei moved, ground drilling technique. His body suddenly sank into the ground and disappeared. The ground was a deep hole. When Long Fei disappeared from their line of sight, the surrounding people started to discuss once again. What kind of cultivation technique is this? Drill the dog hole. He must have run away. Even his brothers and women were abandoned. This is the South Horizon region. They're really useless. Ha ha, I thought he was arrogant, but it turns out he's a coward. Murong Tian could not help but sneer. A dog is a dog. They were all ridiculing Long Fei for trying to escape. Only one person frowned slightly, Pan Sheng. Pan Sheng's face slightly trembled and thought to himself, could it be that this trash discovered Lei Mo's weakness? From beginning to end, Lei Mo did not move a single bit, and from beginning to end, his legs had not moved even an inch. Why? Long Fei kept thinking about this question when he was in a coma. The chains of the gravity demon. What's Lei Mo's? It was the earth binding beneath his feet. However, these were just Long Fei's guesses to test and see if his guess was right. There was only one way, to personally test it under his feet. The elder beside Pan Sheng furrowed his brows and asked, "Young master, could it be?" Pan Sheng slightly said, "Don't be anxious. Take a look first. He is from the Long family, and this Lei Mo is from the Long family. It is normal for him to know the Thunder God's weakness." However, the corner of Pan Sheng's mouth slightly curled, revealing a trace of disdain, and said with a cold smile, "He's only a waste of the holy 9th rank, so even if he discovers Lei Mo's weakness, it's still useless. With just his strength alone, he can't hurt a single hair on Lei Mo's body." He wasn't worried. On the contrary, he was still very excited because once Lei Mo got enraged, it would be a power explosion that would destroy the world. Even more people would die, and this would cause an even greater sensation. Pan Sheng smiled slightly. "No one can stop the rise of my sky-separating clan. No one." In the ground, Long Fei was right under Lei Mo's feet. What a strong power of earth! The Yin Huang ancestor exclaimed and said, Brat, your guess is correct. This Lamo is bound by the power of the earth. This is the earth seal. In the past few days, he had been constantly drawing upon the lightning to strike him. He only wanted to use his power to break the binding force of the earth, but he has been in the seal for too long, and because the restriction of the power of earth is too strong, he did not succeed. After pausing for a few seconds, Yin Huang ancestor said, I have to say, your Long family has a genius seal. It's invulnerable. If it wasn't for the fact that the power of the ancient code lost its balance, this Lamo would never be able to break through the great earth seal in his lifetime. Long family. He was once the paragon of the Tianwu continent. Their strength was unmatched. If not for the arrival of the mysterious calamity, the Long family would still be the ruler of the continent, and there would not be any heavenly around. Long Fei could feel the thick earth energy around him, and said, Ancestor, how can we inflict heavy injuries on him? Yin Huang ancestor laughed. It's very simple, his soul. Huh? Long Fei was startled, and said, Why didn't I think of that? Ha ha ha. If his feet can't move, then the area under his feet is his absolute weakness. And then, Long Fei roared sinisterly, Dragon Salyer, come. Chua! The dragon Salyer that was stuck on the ground received Long Fei summons and pierced straight into the ground, flying back and forth before landing in his hands. Is he cocky? Arrogant, right? I'll stab you. With the dragon Salyer in hand, Long Fei thrust the blade under Lamo's feet. Swish! Lamo's legs hurt, and he immediately knew that Long Fei was still at the soles of his feet. His heart was filled with boundless fury. Damnable thing. Go to hell. The thunder god hammer in his hand moved, and a huge amount of thunder and lightning energy struck down, reaching deep into the ground. Yin Huang ancestor immediately said, Brat, dangerous. Lamo could not attack Long Fei, but he could hit the ground, and the power of the lightning that he released was extremely ferocious. If he was struck, Long Fei's mental state would definitely be severely injured. Boom! The lightning that pierced through everything seemed to have struck Long Fei's back as his mind and sea of consciousness rolled around, feeling extremely uncomfortable. However, he did not stop there. He shouted, Come on, chop this daddy to death. More than that, the soles of his feet could not move, and that was Lamo's weakness. However, floating life, table of contents, no windows, a +100 million was simply too massive. It was impossible to kill them in a short period of time. In the distance, Pan Sheng laughed complacently. Lamo is about to go crazy. First, 8_8419/2357011. Indeed, Lamo was about to go crazy. The lightning on his body became denser and denser as his body turned crimson. Thunderclouds covered the sky and shrouded the entire Thunder Mountains. It was like the end of the world. Rumble, rumble. From the thunderclouds, endless thunder rumbled. Crack! A bolt of lightning flashed past, followed by a heavy downpour of rain amidst the thunderclouds. Lamo looked up to the sky and said solemnly, 3 million years ago, the seal gave me a chance to live. What do you mean by giving me a chance to live? None of the people from the Long family are good. It's been a full 3,600,000 years for me, dog. Today, I will use your life as a sacrifice to the heavens. I will make the Long family pay. Rumble. The sky darkened as heavy rain poured down. The ground was covered with water, and the rain began to crazily seep into the ground. In the surrounding forest, there was also water. However, no one was aware of the danger. F*CK. A drop of water fell on top of Long Fei's head. His heart sank as he cursed. This guy, it's time for the big move. Immediately, the idea was linked to Vibrant Heaven, who mechanically sounded out loud and said, Fatty, man to all you owe, Xiao Ing, Lei Chong, quickly run. Everyone run. Run to a place with no water. Hurry up. His voice was incomparably urgent. The thunderclouds in the sky didn't come down with thunder, but with rain. What can water do? Who can conduct electricity? Lei Mo's attack range was probably only a few kilometers just now, and the shockwaves had reached 100 kilometers, but this time, his attack range was at least 100 times. The shockwave covered over 10,000 kilometers. The closer they got, the faster they would die. Terrifying. Extremely terrifying. Long Fei did not dare think about it, and shouted again, "Run, everyone run!" Man Tuoyuo looked at Chun Tianfei and said, "Let's go." Chun Tianfei didn't think about it as he pulled Lei Zhong back and said, "Boss told us to go. Let's go." Lei Zhong didn't understand. Why did they leave? Lei Mo did not attack again. "You want to leave? It's not that easy. Leave your life behind for me." The assassins of the Nine Business Union did not let them go and directly blocked their path of retreat. F***CK. Fatty Chun was infuriated. Boss had once instructed me not to use it unless it's absolutely necessary. This is the moment of last resort. "Titan, get out!" Chun Tianfei roared out. An alloy armor appeared beside him. The alloy armor instantly activated. Just like a level-up robot, his body was also multiplied by several times, and his whole body was chubby, but his strength, however, was extremely terrifying. His body transformed. His entire being was like a robot that had been fused into an animated cartoon. Fatty Chun immediately transformed into his original form. This was the alloy armor that Long Fei had created for him. Seeing an assassin coming at him, Fatty Chin's eyes were filled with rage. He roared, "Die!" His right foot shook violently. The defensive power on his body immediately transformed into attack. This was the attribute that belonged to his alloy armor and allowed him to combine and channel his energy into an attack attribute. Bang, bang, bang. The ground split open rapidly, and the rain on the ground burst out like a fountain. Bam! One of the assassins was directly blown away, while the other one bled from his 7 orifices. He stood there motionlessly. Fatty Chun roared and cursed. F***CK. Do it again if you have the guts. Son of a bitch. Lei was dumbfounded once again. F***CK. This is the alloy armor. Upon wearing the alloy armor, the power of spiritual level could instantly kill an expert of the arrogant immortal state. This. Too awesome. Many people also saw this, and their hearts began to boil. However, this kind of alloy armor would only be able to deal with some arrogant immortal state warriors. Chun Tianfei said, "Now is not the time to be shocked. Quickly." If it wasn't extremely dangerous, Long Fei would definitely not be so anxious. Obviously, it must be extremely dangerous, even more dangerous than the previous wave. Lei Zhong swiftly followed. However, at this moment, the surrounding people started to laugh maniacally. "Ha ha! Ha ha! A bunch of cowards. They're useless. They only know how to run. Isn't it just rain? Was there a need to be so scared? Even if Lei Mo is powerful, this place is 100 miles away. You did not manage to reach him just now, but you can still reach him now. Trash that can't make it to the stage will forever remain as trash." Other than Chun Tianfei and the rest who were trying to escape, not many people ran away, because they felt that no matter how strong Lei Mo was, it was impossible for his power to spread out beyond 100 kilometers. Thus, they mocked Long Fei for being a coward, and mocked him like a stray dog. "Run!" Wang Jintian shouted again. Many of them laughed out loud. "Brat, you think that we are all like you? As timid as a mouse. That's what the people of the South Horizon region are like. Ha! They ran away without even fighting. What Long family's people are not afraid of the heavens, are not afraid of the earth, are not afraid of death. I think the people who are most afraid of death are the people of Long family." Exactly. Look at that Long Fei. He hasn't even fought yet, and he has already escaped to who knows where. Now he's telling us to run? We aren't trash from the South Horizon region. Hearing these discussions, Long Fei laughed bitterly. It's so hard to be a good person just because you want to be one. Looks like this world really is one. Killing people and setting fire to the 10,000-year-old monument, building bridges and repairing roads without leaving any remains. Good people. It's hard to do. In that case, then all of you can go die. Long Fei laughed sinisterly. It was also at this time. Lei Mo moved, his entire body turning scarlet red. This was a kind of berserk state. He had already raised his strength to the limit. The Thunder God Hammer moved. Crack! The surrounding area of the Thunder God Hammer was filled with crackling lightning. The lightning spread in all directions, as if a nuclear power plant had exploded. Pan Sheng started laughing, looked at the people still discussing around him, and coldly laughed. A bunch of ants, lowly ants, will all die soon. Ha ha! If they can't die, how can they emphasize the power of my sky-separating clan and the Pan clan? Ha ha ha! Pan Sheng laughed out loud. At this moment, Lei Mo entered a berserk state as the Thunder God Hammer stabbed itself into the thundercloud. It roared angrily at the sky. Billions of volts, activate it for me. Billions of volts. This kind of electricity was almost an earth-shattering existence. At this time, Long Fei secretly tensed up. Ancestor, what do we do? The Yin Huang ancestor shook his head. At most, I can only protect you. It was at this moment. I can absorb his lightning. Second, 8_8419/2357012. Long Fei leveled up when he killed people. Long Fei leveled up when he killed people. However, he wasn't a homicidal maniac. He should kill those who deserve to be killed, those who deserve to die, but how many people were gathered in Thunder Mountains? He couldn't even count it. Moreover, it was continuously rushing towards this place. Billions of volts of lightning and the overwhelming rain. This time, at least countless people would die. Other than those who mocked him, there were more innocent people. Also, was Man Tuoluo and the rest safe? Long Fei was also not at ease. If he could dissolve this move of Lei Mo's, it would naturally be for the best. Yin Huang ancestor didn't have any other way. Just as Long Fei's heart was sinking, Fei flew out from the Thunder Dragon Rod and said faintly, Master, I can absorb his power. Long Fei looked at Fairy Fei and asked seriously, Can you really do it? Fei hesitated for half a second before resolutely replying, I think it should be possible. Long Fei said, Don't force it. I promise to bring you to find the fairy clan. Fei smiled lightly and said, with Master's words, I will definitely be able to do it. He. After she finished speaking, Fei smiled mischievously. Long Fei said, All right, then you can try, but do not force yourself. Fei rushed out, with an elf body the size of a finger, quietly floating beside Long Fei. She closed her eyes and started chanting. At this moment, the Thunder God Hammer in Lei Mo's hands smashed down and said solemnly, Die for me, Earthbind, break for me, With a furious roar, the Thunder God Hammer in Lei Mo's hands descended vertically, bringing along tens of thousands of streaks of lightning. Billions of volts of electricity tore through the skies as it bombarded downwards. In the distance, two elders of the Hall of Immortals rushed over. Seeing the skies suddenly darken to a black void, their hearts sank at the same time. It's over. The people of Thunder Mountains are all about to die. This time, another clan elder said, It's all because of that darn Long family brat. If he hadn't angered Lei Mo, he wouldn't have turned into such a state. Damn it. With just Lei Mo alone, he killed tens of thousands of genius warriors, many of them being geniuses with broken records. Just how many evil monsters is there in the sky martial continent? Demon flames soared to the sky, unstoppable. What should we do? Is there a need for us to go? An elder said, We are here to welcome the sky-separating clan. However, whether they can survive is also a question, right? Rumble, rumble. The Thunder God Hammer smashed into the ground, causing Xuan Bai's lightning to spread out like a spiderweb. At this moment, the sky was dark, and Xuan Bai, who was covered by lightning, felt as if the world was spinning around him. Die for me. Lei Mo roared, and trillions of lightning bolts descended. That scene was simply unparalleled. Those people who didn't flee from the jungle were so scared that they fell to the ground, their faces turning pale. Right at the moment when the lightning was spreading, Feyre slightly opened her eyes. Lightning essence, listen to my call, absorb. All of a sudden, the power of thunder and lightning was forcefully retracted, and it quickly flowed back into the jungle. Whoosh, 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 asterisk, whoosh, 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 asterisk. It was incomparably terrifying. It was as if time was reversing. The lightning was being absorbed at a crazy rate, making it hard for people to understand. Leamo was shocked. Pancham was also shocked. They had something in common. Angry. Countless bolts of lightning gathered together, forming a beam of lightning. This beam of lightning was linked to the heavens and the earth. Leamo's gaze darkened. Staring at the ground, he asked, "Absorb the lightning element? Then I'll see how much you can absorb. Billions of volts, activate for me." Buzz. Leamo smashed the ground with his hammer again, and the lightning on the ground exploded once more, as if numerous lightning dragons were exploding. Absorb the essence of thunder. Feyre released her power once again. Another bolt of lightning shot into the sky, connecting the heaven and earth. Moreover, at the same time, Feyre was frantically absorbing the power of thunder and lightning. The thunder dragon rod began to tremble from the anxiety, as it was unable to endure the power exploding out of Leamo's body. Billions of volts, activate for me. Leamo smashed down with his hammer again. Absorb the essence of thunder. Feyre once again absorbed all the thunder and lightning elements before a beam of light shot into the sky. The thunder god hammer struck the ground time and time again. Shuanabai's lightning and thunder dragons on the ground were struck and hit the ground time and time again, but they were absorbed by the strong energy and condensed into a beam of lightning that linked the heaven and earth. In just a minute, the surroundings were filled with dense lightning bolts. It was like a miracle from the heavens. Everyone was stunned. What happened? What's wrong? What kind of power is it? None of them understood. When Long Fei saw the pained look on Feyre's face, he clenched his fists tightly and roared in his heart, "Leamo, if I don't kill you today, I will change my surname to yours." He felt extremely displeased. Leamo laughed sinisterly, saying, "You like absorbing lightning, right? You can control the lightning element, right? Haha, now just absorb all of this. As long as there is one that cannot be absorbed, it will cause your soul to explode." Haha. His voice was extremely arrogant. With Leamo at the center, there were at least 100 lightning beams surrounding them, each filled with billions of lightning bolts. Long Fei's heart tensed up. His teeth chattered loudly. He should not have let Feyre try. Feyre smiled and said, "Master, don't worry." Her face was pale. She had already reached the limit of absorbing the lightning. This was only the first step, and the most difficult part was absorbing the lightning. If they didn't absorb it, the lightning would reopen, and her soul would also be destroyed by the power of over 100 lightning bolts. Feyre was startled. "I'll let you see my strength." The power of the Elf King. "Open for me." Feyre was enraged as well, and her body exploded with a power that Long Fei had never seen before. A rainbow-colored light radiated from her body. A shadow of a crown flashed above her head. Yin Huang Ancestor's mind sank as he immediately said, "A descendant of the Elf King." At the same time, the 100 bolts of lightning around her slowly descending at the same time. They entered into Feyre's body crazily as she madly absorbed the trillions of strands of lightning energy. Buzz! Bam! The Thunder Dragon rod exploded under the pressure. Only the pearl with Fey's body was left rolling about. The power inside the bead was also rolling. At the same time, bit by bit, Feyre was transforming crazily. Third, 8_8419/2357013. Every time a strand of energy entered Fey's body, her body would become larger. Every time a strand of energy entered Fey's body, her body would become larger. Is she getting stronger? Are they evolving? Long Fei was a little excited. As he watched Feyre's body slowly grow bigger, he did not know if it was good or bad for her. Yin Huang Ancestor said, "It depends on her. If she can endure it, she will definitely become stronger, But if she can't, there was only one consequence. Body blast. Mo watched as the lightning bolts slowly weakened and disappeared, making him extremely unhappy. The one who was even more unhappy was Pan Sheng. He didn't want to miss the opportunity he had been waiting for. He couldn't allow others to snatch away the halo that should have belonged to him. Pan Sheng stared at the lightning beams on the ground. His mind was spinning very quickly. The corners of his mouth raised slightly. He laughed strangely and said to the old man beside him, "You can begin your preparations." The elder immediately said, "As you command." Wong, Wong. Lightning rumbled continuously within Feier's body. Her body had changed from the size of a finger to that of a 20-year-old. She was slim and graceful, with a single strand of gold growing on her head. He was nearly 8 meters tall, had a slender figure, and a holy aura from head to toe. Boom! As the last lightning bolt was devoured, Feier's body trembled. She had matured completely. There was not a single flaw on her body. She was just like the elf women in the movie world, beautiful to the point that people didn't dare to look at her directly. Long Fei was stunned. Feier looked at Long Fei and said slightly, "Master, what's wrong?" Long Fei muttered, "Beautiful. It's really too beautiful." Feier was stunned, and when she looked at her body in a low voice, she was also stunned. Have I grown up? Following that, she looked at her chest, and her cheeks flushed red. "Master, you're so bad." Her body was in full view, completely unprotected by anything. Her body was completely exposed in front of Long Fei, with her long and white legs and those arrogant taunts. It also gave off a holy aura. Any man would have a possessive desire to possess it. Long Fei's expression shook and quickly recovered. Feier's figure moved as well, her hands covering her chest as her body floated before returning into the pearl and saying, "Master, I need to digest this for a while." She didn't dare to stay any longer. His heart was thumping hard when he was stared at by Long Fei's fiery eyes. Not to mention her, even Long Fei was almost unable to endure it any longer. At any moment now, the violent energy under his crotch would explode, and as he watched her enter the pearl, his hot aura finally started to descend. "Damn, this is too hot, isn't it?" Long Fei's nose was about to bleed. "This is the moment. Attack!" Pan Sheng gave the order. All the disciples of the sky-separating clan rushed out, and in practically an instant, they arrived in front of Mo. Pan Sheng, who was floating in mid-air, also moved. He stood with his hands behind his back and was above Mo in mid-air. Pan Sheng laughed and said, "Mo, all of your lightning energy has been completely absorbed by me. What other abilities do you have now?" His voice was very loud, spreading out to 100 kilometers. In the dense forest, those warriors who did not die were suddenly shocked. Was it him who absorbed Mo's lightning? Saved us? Who is he? Isn't he too strong? My savior. If not for him, we would all have been turned to ashes. He directly usurped the fruits of Fei's victory. It was obviously Fei that saved them, but Pan Sheng suddenly appeared at this critical juncture. This timing was simply too much of coincidence. Pan Sheng was too treacherous. He had originally wanted Mo to kill all of these people, and then appear and kill Mo. However, when the lightning light was absorbed and he suddenly appeared, it caused an even greater sensation. He was a scheming man. He knew how to build his own momentum. Long Fei didn't care about any of this. However, if Pan Sheng wanted to take the chance to snatch the boss, that was out of the question. Mo's eyes darkened as he stared at Pan Sheng and laughed coldly. "I finally understand why the originally incomparably powerful sky-separating clan was stomped on like a dead dog by the Long family." Although he was not happy with the Long family, but Mo despised the cunning and despicable Pan Sheng even more. Pan Sheng laughed coldly and said, "Impudent." In that instant, Pan Sheng was furious, as if he had found a scar on his body. Once he said that, his body exploded out with a burst of power, and an extremely strong sword intent spread out. Pan Gu's sword. Buzz! The sky split open, creating a huge rift as a huge sword descended. It was as if the sky was opening. Pan Sheng grabbed at the air, let out a deep roar, and said, "It's not even your turn to comment on sky-separating clan. What the hell are you?" Boom! The sword chopped down. Crack! A powerful force exploded outwards. Nearly 4 million damage. Leimo's body sank and spat out a mouthful of blood. He stared at Pan Sheng, who was in midair, and laughed out wildly. "What? You got a sore spot for me? Wasn't your sky-separating clan crushed like a dead dog by your Long family back then? If not for the fact that Long family intended to let you live, when you opened the gate, the Pan clan would not have been annihilated back then." Leimo laughed coldly. His words made Pan Sheng even more unhappy. "You're courting death," Pan Sheng bellowed. The Pangu sword in his hands released a savage sword intent and slashed at Leimo again. The Thunder God hammer in Leimo's hand moved, blocking the attack. However, buzz! The shocking power exploded out, but Leimo was unable to resist the sword intent of the Pangu sword. The Pangu sword. He was once a supreme artifact of the immortal domain. As the sky-separating clan was crushed, the Pangu sword was also defeated by the Zhuge sword. With the Zhuge sword destroyed, the strongest sword in immortal domain would probably be the strongest Pangu sword in Pan Sheng's hands. Even Leimo's Thunder God hammer could not withstand it. Furthermore, Pan Sheng's cultivation was extremely terrifying. He had released all of the Pangu sword's power, making Leimo unable to resist. Just as Pan Sheng had said, he had already used up all of his power of thunder and lightning. Whether it was defense or attack, his strength had been reduced to the lowest. Crack! Another long string of damaged figures floated up. Longface secretly clucked his tongue. Damn, just what kind of background does this sky-separating clan guy have? This kind of injury is simply... He's invincible. He couldn't help but be shocked. He could only deal 30,000 to 40,000 damage, but Pan Sheng could deal 5 million damage. No way. No matter what, we can't let him steal the boss. Long Fei's heart sank. See you soon. Long Fei moved. Underground drilling technique. Shwa. He directly broke through the ground, held onto Dragon Salyer with one hand, and roared loudly. Dark Dragon God slash. The blade slashed down. Caret, half, /float asterisk life. Boom! Dark Dragon God's blade, aura, came crashing down. It was also at this time. At the same time, the sword intent of the Pangu sword came crashing down. Fourth, 8_8419/2357014. Dragon Salyer against Pangu sword. Dragon Salyer against Pangu sword. This was the first time Long family and sky-separating clan had clashed. The Dark Dragon God's blade aura roared. It roared and was extremely tyrannical. The sword intent of the Pangu sword was filled with the power of the ancient giant's Pangu Genesis. The moment the two forces clashed, rumble, 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 tens of thousands of lightning bolts rumbled as the two powerful forces continuously pressed against each other, colliding against each other, extending for 10,000 miles. The scene was even more sensational than when Leimo turned the world upside down. Pan Sheng smiled. You overestimate your capabilities. Get on the ground. The strength from his body dropped again. Boom! The sky-opening immortal root in his body moved as he channeled all of his strength, releasing his heaven-opening sword intent to its peak. Crack! The dense Dark Dragon God sword, Qi, started to shatter. In just half a second, Long Fei's arms were trembling and his palm was splitting apart. The sword intent on the Pangu sword was too strong. He couldn't stop it at all. Wong. The illusory image of the Dark Dragon God was slashed into pieces as it dissipated. The powerful sword intent instantly crushed Long Fei's mind, and even the protective Golden Dragon did not have enough time to protect him. Long Fei spat out a mouthful of blood. His body fell from the sky like a kite with its string cut, heavily hitting the ground and rolling around in the air. Her face was pale. There was an indescribable pain all over his body. The power of the sky splitting erupted within his body, and the power of the true sky splitting was extremely uncomfortable. Pan Sheng laughed coldly. Long family? Ha ha! Who's like a dead dog now? Pan Sheng laughed wildly, looked at Long Fei, who was like a dead dog on the ground, and said coldly with contempt, "That was then, but now. My sky-separating clan is about to rise again to become the #1 clan in the Sky Martial continent. I want sky-separating clan to once again stand at the peak of this world." Ha ha! Pan Sheng laughed out arrogantly. Everyone began to discuss. Sky-separating clan? The oldest family in the Sky Martial continent was once a defense tribe of the Sky Martial continent. They were suppressed twice, once by the Dragon Clan, and the other time was a long family that had returned from the prehistoric plains. Now that the sky-separating clan has reappeared after 1,000,000 years, just how powerful is his power? That Long Fei. It became a joke. Ha ha! To serve as a foil for the appearance of the sky-separating clan. That's right, the previous Long family was awesome. What about now? The South Horizon region is already a wasteland. Ha ha! Everyone began to mock him. He was excited about the appearance of the sky-separating clan. Now, they were even more certain that the one who saved them was the sky-separating clan, the lofty Pan Sheng. Huff, huff! Panting heavily, Long Fei stood up from the ground. Looking at the haughty and arrogant Pan Sheng, he asked softly, "Is this the power of the sky-separating clan?" Yan Huang ancestor said, "Brat, don't act recklessly. Your current cultivation is not his match at all. Moreover, although the Dragon Salyer has leveled up, it is still only in the 3rd realm, and is unable to compare with the Pan Gu sword of the Peak realm. If you go and risk it all again, the ancestor of Dark Dragon God will suffer heavy injuries and be difficult to repair. This will be even more difficult for the Dragon Salyer to level up in the future." Yin Huang ancestor was worried that Long Fei would go crazy again. Long Fei slightly said, "Don't worry, I won't do anything stupid." In that previous exchange of moves, he could already feel the anger of the ancestor of Dark Dragon God, because a mere handful of Pan Gu sword was bullying him, making him angry. He was furious because of his current cultivation level, and also because a mere sky-separating clan dared to be so impudent and angry. The strength of the ancestor of Dark Dragon God became stronger as the Dragon Salyer increased in strength. The higher the level of the Dragon Salyer, the more power he would receive. Right now, it was only the 3rd plane. If he reached the Great Perfection realm, what was a mere Pan Gu sword worth? A single slash could shatter it. Long Fei could clearly feel the anger of the ancestor of Dark Dragon God. Ancestor of Dark Dragon God's voice exploded inside of Long Fei's mind and said, "Hurry up and bring out the Dragon Salyer's level increase. I want to kill him." Very unhappy, very angry. It was the first time he had felt so bad. At this moment, Pan Sheng's attitude became even more arrogant. Looking at Long Fei, who was on the ground, he sneered, "Long family, do you want to come again? Back then, your ancestors crushed my sky-separating clan. Right now, you're Long family. Humph, you don't even have the qualifications to be killed by me." Then, Pan Sheng stared at Lei and Mo and laughed coldly. "How useless are the people of Long family? It's just that trash like you is able to live under the Long family seal. Now, go to hell." Just now, in his mind, he received a message. The heavenly hall of Immortal's elder had arrived. It was time to end it. He wanted to wait until he was a heavenly. Then, Pan Sheng stared at Lei Mo, and the power of the immortal opening root on his body exploded. Wung. Just at this moment, 9 illusionary shadows of Pan Gu's sword rushed out from his back. Crack! 9 sword combined into 1. Chop for me. Shwa! The 9 heaven-splitting swords flew straight up into the sky, instantly condensed, and formed an incomparably gigantic sword. Like an outer space sword, it smashed straight towards Lei Mo's head. Long Fei did not stop them. He clenched his fists tightly as he watched the large treasured sword descending from the sky. His heart sank. Lei Mo looked into the sky and roared, "Long Wushan, you owe me, you owe me. You said that I can live. You lied to me." Ha! Long family. Even if I become a ghost, I won't let you all off. Rumble. His sword descended from the top of his head to the center of his mind. His mind was shattered. His health point had also bottomed out in an instant, and the damage from this sword strike. His performance had exploded. Layamo. He never thought that he would die in the sky, separating clan. He thought that he would lose his balance due to the ancient code and was bound by the breaking through the seal. The power of the Long family's earth seal was beyond his imagination. No matter how hard he tried, he could not break free of the seal's restraints. He was unwilling, because the person who placed the seal here had once promised him that he wouldn't die. He would live. However, Layamo roared in his heart. He was unwilling to die just like that. Long Wushin, Long Wushin, Long Wushin. The three words Long Wushin reverberated in the sky for a long time. The look in Lamo's eyes was unwilling to accept this, but his body suddenly collapsed, and his feet were still tightly bound by the earth seal. Everyone in the Thunder Mountains was shocked. At the same time, the two elders of the Heavenly Hall of Immortals rushed over, and seeing Layamo being killed, they became extremely excited. Ha ha ha! Ha! Baidu's search. Half afloat, the first demon slayer has appeared. The real demon slayer has finally appeared. Long Fei stood quietly at the side, his eyes slowly closing. Explode. Chapter 5. Tomorrow, he was going to go berserk. With a foundation of 8 chapters, he was going to charge for 10 chapters. 8_8419/2357015. Closing his eyes, Long Fei looked excited. Closing his eyes, Long Fei looked excited. Being crushed down by the Pangu sword, he was in no hurry to attack Layamo. Instead, he waited quietly, because he had already dealt damage to Layamo. So no matter who it was that killed Layamo, he would gain experience and receive a huge amount of damage. As huge body fell down, the system sounded out, causing Long Fei's heart to thump loudly. Release your striking energy value. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Layamo, for gaining an experience point, power of celestial point, energy values point, 1 point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the second stage, Thunder Immortal Root. Do you want to fuse it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Lightning Element Power. Do you wish to fuse it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Immortal Stage Divine Equipment, Heavenly Thunder Spear. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Myriad Thunder Spear Technique. Do you wish to learn it? Congratulations to player Long Fei. The system crazily sounded out a notification sound. It was extremely violent. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Layamo. Rumble. The moment this notification sound rang out, the broken 18 levels of hell started to operate, directly absorbing Layamo, who was lying on the ground. At the same time, a ray of light landed on Lamo's body and exploded, covering his entire body. Next, second level of the Infernal Realm. The light of the scissors in the Infernal Realm lit up. Lamo's enormous body suddenly sat up and woke up. His expression was somewhat different from the beginning, but he looked at his hands in shock, then looked around him and muttered, "I'm not dead." At this moment, the gravity troll laughed out loud and said, "Layamo, long time no see." "Huh, old Joan." Lamo's expression shook. The idea immediately sensed the existence of the gravity troll and cried out in shock. "Why are you here too? Weren't you sent by the Long family seal to some mysterious space in the South Horizon region? What the hell is going on?" The gravity troll began to laugh loudly and said, "Like you, I was also killed by the Long family's seal and also by the Long family's people. We were all saved by the people of the Long family. Do you know where this is?" Lamo's expression changed slightly as he said, "I don't know." How would he know where this place was if he hadn't gone to hell before? The gravity troll laughed. 18 levels of hell. Layamo sank and said, "Then are we still dead? How do you say that it was the people from the Long family who saved us?" The gravity troll laughed and said, "No, it's true that this is the 18th level of hell, but we're not dead because this brat, that's not right. It should be our master who brought out the 18 hells of the underworld. That's why you entered here after you were killed. Only then did you come back to life. Do you understand? Bring the 18 levels of hell out of the netherworld." Lao Zhong, do you think I'm a 3-year-old child? Even a fool would not believe such words. Laimo naturally did not believe that who could bring out the 18 levels of hell from the underworld. The gravity troll laughed. "I'll tell you one more thing. You will believe me after you find out about this." Laimo said, "Go ahead." The gravity troll said, "Living people entering hell, the dead reviving, the laws of hell being broken, myriad demons coming out, the seal moving. Do you now know why?" Laimo muttered, "To hell with living people, to resurrect the dead, to break the laws, to exterminate all the demons, to move the seal. What does that mean?" Suddenly, Laimo's eyes shook and said, "Are you saying that this kid broke the balance between the laws of the sky martial continent, and that we woke up from a seal? It's our master." The gravity troll repeated. Laimo's face was filled with shock, but at the same time, he became excited and said, "Like I said, how did the power of law suddenly lose its balance? Ha ha! People of the Long family, isn't this too overpowered? He's brought out the 18 levels of hell. Then isn't the underworld going to overturn the heavens?" Long Wushin, I finally understand the meaning behind his words. Long family is not a long family. He's really too strong. Laimo's heart was indescribably shocked. It was also at this moment. His restless heart calmed down, and the idea moved. It knelt down on one knee towards Long Fei and said in a heavy voice, "Laimo pays his respects to the young master." As soon as his voice faded, "Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for gaining 100 experience points, 100 power of celestial, and 100 points as a reward. Ding! System notification. Broken 18th level of hell. Second level repaired successfully." Listen to these prompts. Then Laimo kneeled down on one knee. Long Fei was boiling with excitement. Laimo returned. "Ha! 18 levels of hell, repairing the second level. That means there are 16 more giant demons." The valor of the gravity troll and the billions of volts that Laimo possessed all caused Long Fei to feel incomparably excited. If all 18 giant demons were gathered, then the entire Tianwu continent would be trampled beneath his feet. What do you mean awesome? This was awesome. What was the title of Demon Slayer? Moreover, the one who truly killed Laimo was not Pan Sheng, but him, Long Fei. If Feier had not absorbed all of Laimo's 100 million volts, killing Laimo would not be such a simple task. Who looked like he was killed by Pan Sheng was actually the real winner was Long Fei. "Boss, how are you doing? Young Master Long, are you all right?" Man Toaluo, Chun Tianfei, and the other three ran back. Seeing that Long Fei's body was covered in wounds, Fatty Chun was very unhappy. He looked at Pan Sheng, who was in the air, and shouted, "You're also an evil slayer. What's so special about that?" Pan Sheng coldly glanced at Chun Tianfei and said, "You don't even have the qualifications to speak to me. And you, Long family, ha ha, the Long family that is on the verge of death, the South Horizon region of the trash land." Pan Sheng laughed disdainfully. He did not put Long Fei in his eyes at all, and the previous time they met, they had made it even clearer to him that Long Fei's cultivation was so weak that it could explode. Ha ha ha! Long Fei clenched his fists. Xiao Ying rushed forward in a very bad mood and wanted to curse, but was stopped by Long Fei. Long Fei looked at Pan Sheng, who was in midair, and said, "Whether or not you continue to linger on your last breath, we will know that right now. No matter how lowly Long family is, he would not be like some shameless people." Pan Sheng's eyebrows tightened as he gave cold snort and said, "This is only a reason that the weak have to find for themselves." At this moment, the elder of the Tong Tian Hall of Immortals walked over and said, "Sky-separating clan, the Pan clan, is powerful indeed. They have been in seclusion for 1,000,000 years. Once they emerge, the entire world will be shocked." Good. You should be the first demon slayer in the sky martial continent. Floating life. Table of contents. No windows. A ++ supreme god ordered me to come welcome him. The two elders were incomparably respectful. They had personally witnessed Pan Sheng killing Lei Mo. Although Lei Mo had suddenly disappeared, everyone could see that he was the one who killed Lei Mo. There was no doubt that he was the demon slayer. The first demon slayer of the Tianwu continent. First, 8_8419/2357016. The elders of the Heavenly Hall of Immortals welcome him personally. The elders of the Heavenly Hall of Immortals welcome him personally. No one knew who Pan Sheng was referring to, and everyone was shocked beyond words. Heavenly Hall of Immortals? Oh my God, isn't that an existence that stands above the God Emperor Academy? The Demon Slayer was an order given by the Heavenly Hall of Immortals. The Pan clan, with their power to open the sky, had killed a giant demon of seal on the very first day they appeared. There was no doubt that he is the Demon Slayer, the hero who saved the sky martial continent. Long Fei, who has come from the southern domain, is just like a joke. That's right, he is nothing in front of Pan Sheng. With just one move, he was instantly flipped over. Furthermore, this is not all of Pan Sheng's strength. If he was to use his full strength, Long Fei, that brat, would have already been killed. He still has the face to say that he's young Master Pan, but I think that he's the most sinister. When the people of the Heavenly Hall of Immortals appeared, the surrounding warriors all walked out of the dense forest. Their eyes revealed a look of envy, and at the same time, fiercely looked down on Long Fei. Listening to the discussions around him, Chun Tianfei felt extremely displeased and cursed. Fuck you. If it wasn't for my boss, you guys would not even have any bones left, and yet you're still calling me Big Boss? Do you think you're even worthy? Xiaoing was also feeling indignant for Long Fei, and said, "That's right, it's fine if you don't know how to thank me, but you're still coldly saying those words right now, Humph." Although they did not know how Long Fei was able to absorb the lightning that he had shot out, nor did they know. They believed that Long Fei must have done it. However, the surrounding people laughed even more coldly. Haha, you guys are not ashamed to say these words. What did he save us from? It was obviously young Master Pan who saved us. If he could save us, why didn't he kill Lei Mo? Someone from the Southern Sky region killed Lei Mo? Are you kidding? Just now, he was flipped over by Lei Mo, and he almost couldn't get up. So why is he trying to kill Lei Mo? Save us? He almost died himself. What a shameless person. The surrounding people began to look at him with even more contempt. Xiaoing was incomparably furious. Young Master Long, why aren't you saying anything? Long Fei smiled. Why do you have to be like a dog? A dog will bite you. Could it be that you want to rush up to bite the dog? Kid, who are you calling a dog? Damn it. Are you looking to die? Long Fei, don't think that just because you have the God Emperor Academy as your backer, you are extraordinary. I'm afraid that you do not even have the qualifications to participate in the God Emperor Academy's examination. You are just trash at the immortal realm. Many people clamored. Long Fei's gaze turned cold. He stared at one of them and said, I said you are a dog. Bite me if you dare. Your father is courting death. Come if you dare. So what if you have entered the immortal realm? If you really have the guts to touch this daddy here, give it a try. In an instant, Zhang Xin counterattacked. At this moment, an elder of the Heavenly Hall of Immortals shouted in a deep voice, Stop arguing. Many of you are all examinees of this time's God Emperor Academy. Don't waste your energy on a small piece of trash. He looked at Long Fei and said the word trash. Long Fei frowned. His heart was in displeasure. Another elder said, Yesterday, the Heavenly Hall of Immortals had already sent word to the God Emperor Academy. Those who have yet to reach the spiritual level will not be qualified to participate in the examination. Does some people think that they can do whatever they want just because they have the God Emperor Academy's principal as their backer? Humph. In this world, everything is not possible with a backer. What you rely on is your own strength. The elder sneered. These words were said for Long Fei's ears. Long Fei was naturally clear in his heart as well. Looking at the two elders from the Tong Tian Hall of Immortal Zess in the sky, the corner of his mouth lifted slightly as he coldly laughed. I will let you know what strength is and what qualifications you have. When the time comes, the two of you must definitely be present. Humph! An elder snorted and said, Brat, words are useless. If you had the strength just now, you could have killed Lei Mo, right? You didn't. You're just a piece of trash from the South Horizon region. Do you understand? Long family. Haha. Who knows about the Long family now? The elder said in disdain. Long Fei looked at him seriously, imprinted his appearance into his mind, and smiled. I'll remember you. The elder completely ignored him and said respectfully to Pan Sheng, Young Master Pan, follow me back to the Tong Tian Hall of Immortals. Supreme God wants to see you. Don't be angry because of trash. Pan Sheng smiled lightly and said, Thank you, elders. Long family brat. Back then your Long family's people crushed my sky separating clan. From today onwards, I will use the same method to crush you. Don't worry, I won't kill you. I will slowly play you to death. From today onwards, anyone who is related to this kid better break away from their relationship. Otherwise, I will crush them together. Dog, watch how I play you to death. Pan Sheng's tone was extremely tyrannical. Extreme arrogance. And then Pan Sheng shouted, Sky-separating clan hide. His men instantly disappeared from a spot. He then smiled at the two elders. Elders lead the way. Ha! Ha! As expected of a young master of the sky-separating clan, he's crazy enough. He's tyrannical enough. Don't worry, from today onwards, you will be a member of the Heavenly Hall of Immortals. Whoever dares to go against you will be going against the entire Heavenly Hall of Immortals. The elder glanced at Long Fei from the corner of his eyes, laughed coldly, and said, A mere Chiu Wandao. Not enough. Ha! Boss, I'm very unhappy. I'm not in a good mood too. Xiao, Ying, and Fatty Chen's faces were filled with anger. Those warriors who were watching him mocked him with their faces. They even stood far away, as if they were afraid that they would have anything to do with Long Fei. At this moment, Lei Zhong looked at Long Fei and frowned. Young Master Long, I'm sorry. He was also slowly retreating to keep a distance between himself and Long Fei. Fatty Chun immediately shouted, Young Master Lei, what do you mean? Xiao Ying and Man Toaluo also looked at him. Long Fei laughed bitterly. I'm fine. Lei Zhong said slowly, My God Emperor City has a mission to complete the wilderness. I need to become a demon slayer. I also need to enter the God Emperor Academy. Otherwise, the first demon slayer had appeared. If it was really as Pan Sheng had said, then he would definitely be suppressed by the sky-separating clan, the God Emperor Academy, and even the Heavenly Hall of Immortals. His path would be extremely difficult, and he might even die. He had no other choice. Everyone's path was different. He carried too many things on his shoulders, so there couldn't be the slightest mistake. Long Fei didn't blame Lei Zhong. Watching him slowly retreat, he let out a deep breath and said, Even more tribulation is just an experiential learning for me. I will step on any tribulation. Sky-separating clan? Heavenly Hall of Immortals? Wait for lousy. Second, date underscore 8419/2357017. The news of Lei Mo being killed had practically spread across the entire immortal domain in a short one day. The news of Lei Mo being killed had practically spread across the entire immortal domain in a short one day. The seal moved, all the demons came out. The demonic flames in the west soared to the sky like raging flames. At this time, the birth of the first demon slayer made everyone heave a sigh of relief, as if they had seen hope. Moreover, most importantly, this person was once one of the guardian families of the Sky Martial Continent, Sky-separating clan. It could even be said that he even knew a 3-year-old child. The Sky-separating clan is truly worthy of being called the Sky-separating clan. They have lived in seclusion for 1,000,000 years, and once they emerge, the world will be shocked. There is hope for the Timu continent. The Pan clan is truly powerful. I didn't expect them to be the guardians of our Tianwu continent. Young Master Pan is too handsome. His strength is incomparable to when he killed Lei Mo with one slash. Young Master Pan has already become an honorary elder of the Heavenly Hall of Immortals. He will appear in the God Emperor Academy in a few days. From the street into the street end, whether it was the pedestrians or the customers in the tavern, everyone was talking about the #1 demon slayer, sky-separating clan, Pan Sheng. This was just a civilian conversation. However, in the upper echelons of God Emperor City, Li Clan get rid of all contact with the Fengyuan Merchant Union. If they want to work together again, they will have to sever their relationship with Long Fei. Otherwise, they will not be protected by the imperial family in the God Emperor City. Don't get in any contact with the Fengyuan Merchant Union. No one is allowed to buy more elixirs from the Fengyuan Merchant Union. Long Fei was too dazzling in the auction. It could be said he represented the Fengyuan Merchant Union, and as long as they had a relationship with the Fengyuan Merchant Union, all their relationships would be severed quickly. Business. The Fengyuan Merchant Unions, the pill shops, the weapon shops, and all kinds of shops were densely packed with signboards at first, but now they had become like a flock of birds. The business was extremely poor, and it was even worse than heavily injured 9 business union. Within a day, the Fengyuan Merchant Union had lost nearly 5,000 fairy stones. Within a day, a new merchant union had taken advantage of this situation. Pan Family Merchant Union. It was as if his lightning-fast rise had taken over the entire God Emperor City market within a day. It was all because of Pan Sheng. Right now, the Pan clan was simply too terrifying. The sensation Pan Sheng becoming the first demon slayer brought was unparalleled, and the sky-separating clan rose to the top almost within a day. Everyone was afraid. They were all trying to please him. This was because of what Pan Sheng had said in the Thunder Mountains. Anyone who is related to the Long family will be suppressed. It was just a sentence. Let those people be cut off from the Fengyuan Merchant Union. Murong Mansion. Murong Fenlei laughed loudly. Fengyuan Merchant Union? Long Fei. Ha ha ha. No matter how arrogant he is right now. So what if he has the backing of the previous headmaster? To be crushed by lightning within a day. This feels great. Murong Fenlei could not help but become excited. Murong Tian was the same. At the same time, his heart was shaken because the impact of the first demon slayer was far beyond his imagination. He also wanted to crush Long Fei. And if he could think of something that could cause Long Fei to be unable to breathe, he could clench his fists tightly. Demon Slayer. The second Demon Slayer must be me. Haha. Let's see if he still dares to be arrogant. The boulder that was in Chan Xiaoshan's heart was finally lifted. He no longer had to be afraid of Long Fei. And upon hearing the news that Long Fei was being crushed, he became extremely excited. Chen Yueran said, "Big brother, this brat was defeated by Pan Sheng's sword. He is like a dead dog." His arrogant anger was immediately extinguished. "This is great," Chun Xiaoshan said. "This is what happens when one is too arrogant." They thought that with Qiu Wandao's support, they would be extraordinary, and now they're going to be arrogant again. Pan Sheng is a heavenly hall of immortals behind all of them. Who would dare to make the heavenly hall of immortals their enemy? South Horizon region? Ha ha! Trash will always be trash. Chen Yueran also laughed out loud. I heard that there is a new standard in the God Emperor Academy S assessment. Those who have not reached the spiritual level will not have the qualifications to participate in the assessment. Long Fei, this brat, is still in the immortal realm. He doesn't even have the qualifications to participate in the assessment. Laughing my ass off, Qin Xiaoshan said. There are still 3 days until God Emperor Academy's assessment. We would like to see how he will participate in the assessment. What else is there to test for? Get the hell back to the South Horizon region, Chen Yueran said with a look of despise. Some ridiculed, some despised, and some drew a clear line between them and Long Fei. All of these were nothing to Long Fei. On the contrary, it allowed him to see more people clearly. Late at night, in the backyard of God's Phoenix Pavilion, A huge table that was carried out of a long restaurant was filled with all sorts of dishes. Eat, eat, eat. These are your favorite dishes, Fu Shishan said with a smile. Fatty Chin liked to eat it the most. In the past, he would always drool when he saw a big chicken leg, but after returning from the Thunder Mountains for 3 days, he couldn't eat a single bit. The rage in his heart was stifling, and he felt extremely displeased. Every time they walked down the street, someone would point at them, say he's okay, but it would not do to say Long Fei. It was the same for Xiao Ying and Man Tuoyuo. The two of them also looked depressed. They all knew that if not for Long Fei, how would Pan Sheng be able to kill him? But now, all the benefits were obtained by Pan Sheng alone. What about Long Fei? Everyone laughed at him in disdain, saying that he was overestimating himself, that he was despicable and sinister in order to steal Pan Sheng's contribution. Some even told him to just F***CK off back to the South Horizon region. It was really displeasing. Long Fei smiled faintly, picked up her chopsticks, and said, "Everyone eat, don't frown and frown." Xiao Ying said, "Young Master Long, aren't you angry when people talk to you like that?" Fatty Chun followed up, "Boss, do you want us to find that Pan fella and bring him into the alley, put on the gunny sack, and beat him to death with a few F***king sticks?" Xiao Ying said, "Do you think that he is you, and yet he was smashed to death by a few sticks? Do you know how strong his cultivation is?" Fatty Chan was stunned for a moment before he said, Man Tuoyuo looked at Long Fei and said softly, "Right now, the most important thing is not your opponent Pan Sheng, but your cultivation. The rules of the examination have already been announced today, and only the cultivation of the spiritual level is required to participate." This rule was also targeted at Long Fei. It hadn't happened before, so how did he suddenly get an extra rule when he knew that Long Fei was in the immortal realm? Was obviously targeting Long Fei. Fatty Chin also calmed down and said, "That's right, boss. Without the second-level fairy route, you won't be able to break through." Fu Shishan immediately said, "I'll go by the second-level fairy route for you." Xiao Ying said, "Sister Yinshan, right now, there is no one who can do business with the Fengyuan Merchant Union. Even if you want to buy it, I'm afraid no one can sell it. This sky-separating clan wants to kill everyone to force us to death. Strongest upgrade system, F***CK. How preposterous." Fu Tianlong's entire body was covered in mud as he angrily walked in. Fu Shishan asked, "What's wrong?" Fu Tianlong said, "I'm going to buy a dish, but you're not buying it. You said you're not doing business with the Fengyuan Merchant Union. Isn't that just forcing people to their deaths?" Third, 8_8419/2357018. Not selling it to me is fine, but I beat up a few tough guys who rushed out. Fu Tianlong was very angry. Not selling it to me is fine, but I beat up a few tough guys who rushed out. Fu Tianlong was very angry. Fu Shishan frowned and shouted, "Uncle Lei, bring people over." Although Fu Tianlong was a servant right now, she had seen it for herself. She truly wanted to work for the Fengyuan Merchant Union. Moreover, he was her uncle. How could she tolerate this? Fu Tianlong immediately pulled Fu Shishan back and said, Forget it. This is going too far. This isn't how you force others, right?" Chen Tianfei was enraged and said, "Boss, I won't be able to tolerate it." It was also at this time. Long Fei stood up, looked at Fu Shishan, and said, "Big sis, let's sever our relationship first." "No way." Fu Shishan did not give Long Fei any further words and said, "You are my younger brother. If the Fengyuan Merchant Union did not squeeze out of the God Emperor City a long time ago, even if it had failed, I would not have broken off all relations with you." "Very tough." Long Fei said, "Sis, don't be angry. Let me finish." Fu Shishan said, "It doesn't matter what you say, since even if the Fengyuan Merchant Union comes to the end, I will not sever my relationship with you." "What happened to Sky separating clan?" "I'm afraid of him." "Humph." He had his hands on his waist, and his face was fierce and domineering. Long Fei said, "Sis, You are in the business here, and in this period of time you have been in a large quantity. If you cannot sell it, the Feng Yuan Merchant Union will be ruined. Also, there are still 3 days until the God Emperor Academy's assessment. After the examination, I will definitely not be the host here. Fu Shishan said, Long Fei, it doesn't matter what you say, I won't do that. We have already earned a lot in this period of time, which is enough for us to last for a while. Fu Tianlong also said slightly, Young Master Long, don't worry, this is just a limelight. Once the limelight passes, business will naturally improve, and there will be no merchant union capable of eating the entire God Emperor city market in a single bite. Seeing how determined they were, Long Fei could only give up. The idea moved and asked, Ancestor, how many immortal crystals do we have left? Yan Huang Ancestor replied, I didn't touch those 5 immortal crystals. Long Fei said, All right, don't touch it. Yan Huang Ancestor nodded. Understood. Midnight. Long Fei stood in the center of the courtyard. Looking at the sky full of stars, he seemed to be deep in thought. On the surface, he didn't seem to care about what had happened these past few days, but the rage in his heart raged. Pan Sheng's power. The strength of the sky separating clan really pressured him to the point where he couldn't breathe. However, he really liked this feeling because the stronger the opponent, the more excited he would be. As long as the boss was strong, it would drop the strongest item. The Pangu sword, right? Haha. Long Fei laughed sinisterly in his heart and said, It's mine now. And then Long Fei moved, sat cross-legged, and said, Ancestor, protect me. I want to integrate with the lightning immortal foundation. Yin Huang Ancestor replied, Understood. The thunder immortal root that erupted from Lei Mo's body was also the second-level fairy route. It looked like a fist-sized thundercloud covered with lightning. Before he had absorbed the lightning immortal root, Long Fei looked at the idea among the power of the lightning and said, Fusion. Ding. Are you sure you want to fuse with the lightning element? Confirmed. Buzz. A buzzing sound rang out, and the crackling sound of thunder and lightning began to appear within Long Fei's body. The lightning element exploded on his mind, almost in an instant. Boom! One of the bronze doll in the 9 great immortal spirits' mind suddenly moved, directly fusing with the thunder element's power. Long Fei. Holy sh*T. It's me that's fusing with the power of thunder element, not you. You fused. What the heck are you fusing with me for? It was completely uncontrollable as the bronze statue fused with it. At this moment, the body of the bronze doll that had fused with the thunder element began to glow. Thunder and lightning boomed, and the aura of its power became even stronger. Ding! Thunder Copper Man, break through. The system sounded out. Long Fei was puzzled. A breakthrough? The 9-grade immortal spirit still need to break through? Fine. Since you've made a breakthrough, I won't say anything. If you can't release enough power next time, I definitely won't let you go. Long Fei muttered. Then, I've fused with the lightning immortal foundation. Ding. Are you sure? Confirmed. The thunderclouds vanished, and a bolt of thunder exploded within his body, spreading to every corner of his body and even his limbs and bones. It was incomparably intense. Fairy Stone Roots were far from reaching the power of Celestial. It could be considered an auxiliary immortal root. However, the lightning immortal root was different. Lightning had the power to destroy the heavens and the earth. It was an attack-type immortal foundation. With powerful strength, it was even harder to fuse them. The more powerful one was, the harder it was to fuse them, and the longer it would take. An hour passed. Long Fei continued. 2 hours passed. Long Fei continued. When Long Fei was fusing with the lightning immortal roots, both and the gravity troll in the 18th level of hell were seriously watching him. Especially Lei Mo. His expression was somewhat moved as he said, Endure the pain that an ordinary person cannot endure. The young lord is indeed the young lord. He is too powerful. He was Lei Mo, and he knew about the power inside the lightning immortal root. The power of thunder roiled through every cell. The pain was worse than death. Millions of years ago, every single one of the Long family were abnormal. After that calamity, every single expert in the Long family disappeared in a night. We stayed in the seal as well, but who would have thought that the people of the millions of years Long family were so abnormal? They simply do not care about their lives. Laimo said, "That's right, the Long family's experts have disappeared, and the Long family in the South Horizon region is basically just like us Silent Seal. In such a short period of time, Long family is almost on the verge of destruction, and now that the Long family has entrusted everything to this young master, the burden on his shoulders is truly too heavy. If there's even a slight mistake, we'll be doomed." They knew a lot about the Long family. When the Long family was at its peak, with tens of thousands paying their respects, no one knew where the heavenly hall of immortals would be at that time. At that time, Sky-separating clan had already been crushed by Long family to the point where he didn't even dare to fart. But that was also at that time, and the current Long family, boom! Suddenly, Long Fei's spiritual consciousness fiercely opened, releasing a roar, and said, "Open for me." Buzz! All of the lightning immortal roots had been absorbed by Long Fei. It was also at this time. Ding! The system sounded out. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 100 experience points for fusing with Thunder Immortal Root. Power of Celestial has 100 experience points. Ding! Congratulations to the players for leveling up. Ding! Congratulations to the players for leveling up. Ding! Congratulations to the players for leveling up. Ding! Equals half caret float hashtag life caret. Congratulations to the players for leveling up. Ding! Congratulations to the players for leveling up. Level 5 Continuous Whirlwind. Fourth, 8_8419/2357019. The moment he completed the fusion with the Thunder Immortal Root, it was like he had opened a floodgate. The moment he completed the fusion with the Thunder Immortal Root, it was like he had opened a floodgate. Rumble, rumble, rumble. A power was a rank 1 skill, continuously rising by 5 levels. Once he broke through, he would instantly level up and soar up as if he was flying. Huff! 5th level of the Spirit Immortal stage. The qualifications to a spiritual level, right? Are you qualified now? Long Fei opened his eyes wide and clenched his fists tightly, causing lightning to crackle on his arms. Power of Thunder. Every cell in his body was filled with the power of thunder and lightning. Any set of cultivation techniques would bring along a strong thunder damage boost. It took a full 5 hours. Long Fei's body was already close to the lightning physique. Moreover, in the instant that he completed the fusion with the lightning immortal foundation, his fairy stone root moved and immediately broke through, entering the 2nd stage. Power of Thunder. Long Fei became excited. Every move of mine is lightning attributed and has a 200% defense against lightning. Hee. I wonder if I can comprehend the move of Thunder Shadow. Then, Long Fei looked at the sky and walked in. He did not rest, but instead transformed into a sky demon and entered the God's Devil token. Clenching his right hand, he shouted, "Thunder God Gun!" Buzz! With the Thunder God Gun in his hand, Long Fei moved, myriad Thunder Spear. He continued to train in this technique. He wanted to swing the power of thunder to its peak. Sky-separating clan, right? The heavenly hall of immortals? He will only be trampled under your father's feet. Time flew. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Morning. The entire God Emperor city was filled with people, and all of them rushed to the examination registration area. God's Phoenix Pavilion. Sis, the breakfast you made was really delicious. It was the most delicious breakfast I've ever eaten. Long Fei laughed and said, "I must pay for such delicious food. Here's the breakfast money." Long Fei threw a money bag on the table. Fu Shishan did not mind, and thought that Long Fei was joking with her, and said, "Then Big Sis will be your subordinate. All of you must work hard today. You must definitely enter the God Emperor Academy to vent your anger." Fatty Chin said, Big sister, don't worry. Xiaoying raised his fist. Just you wait, I'll smash them down one by one. Ha ha! Long Fei walked out of the god's Phoenix Pavilion and said, let's go. The four of them walked towards the examination grounds of God Emperor Academy with large strides. Standing at the doorway, Fu Shishan muttered to himself with a smile as he watched Long Fei's departing figure. You must do your best. And then, she opened the purse and was stunned. Fu Tianlong walked over and asked, what's wrong? Fu Shishan opened the purse and saw 5 immortal crystals inside. Fu Tianlong was also dumbfounded. Young Master Long, this brat is truly extraordinary. I was the one who made things difficult for him last time. I really... Sigh. Fu Shishan's tears flickered. Her heart was incomparably moved. To her, what the entire Fengyuan Merchant Union needed the most was the first 5 immortal crystals. 5 immortal crystals was equivalent to 500,000 fairy stones. And with just 5 immortal crystals, the Fengyuan Merchant Union would be able to sustain them for 1 year without doing anything. Fu Shishan secretly said, I will definitely try my best. I can't use the martial arts training, but doing business depends not only on influence, but also on the mind. Since the creation of the God Emperor Academy, this was the most lively and also the grandest time. Previously, they only accepted 1,000 disciples. This year, other than the disciples that broke the requirement, the other 10,000 disciples were also recruited. Add in the current situation. When all demons came out, the demonic flames would soar to the sky. Every hot-blooded youth wanted to become a legendary devil slayer. Under the stir caused by the first-place demon slayer Pan Sheng, even more youths became hot-blooded and crazy. Over 100,000 people had signed up for the assessment, and the registration office had set up 100 points. Wow, so many people. Xiaoying looked at the sea of humans and couldn't help but to be shocked. Fatty Chin's face was also filled with shock as he said, I've never seen so many people play before. This year, there's going to be so many of them. Ha ha ha. Man Tuoyuo followed beside Long Fei and asked, your cultivation? Long Fei smiled faintly and said, don't worry, there won't be a problem. Isn't that the kid from the South Horizon region? That's him, and that fat pig from the Chun family. They still dare to come? The assessment criteria is spiritual level. Do you have it? Lame duck from the South Horizon region. Many people in the crowd clamored. Fatty Chun was immediately angered and was about to rush up to give that person a slap, but was stopped by Long Fei and said, don't be anxious, remember his appearance, and slowly play inside the assessment grounds. This was the registration office, and once they started fighting, they wouldn't be qualified to participate in the exam. Huh? Fatty Chin grinned and laughed. Ha ha. The eldest is indeed the eldest. Remember what I look like. You better look carefully, because when you enter the exam grounds later, I will take your lives. When you meet Yama, I will definitely kill all of you. The man said contemptuously. Long Fei did not say a word, and only looked at the man again. The name of the person on the death list was already imprinted on it. Long Fei's appearance caused many people to whisper, look, it's him. He is the trash from the South Horizon region. Only he wants to fight with young Master Pan. He really doesn't know his place. Why don't he take a piss instead? I heard that he doesn't even have a spiritual level, and he doesn't even have the qualifications to participate in the assessment. Yet he comes back, he sure is thick-skinned. Let's wait and see a good show. Long Fei turned a deaf ear to the whispers of ridicule in the surroundings. He walked to the registration office. Chen Tianfei said his name and said, Chen Tianfei, 3rd stage of the spirit immortal realm. In this period of time, Fatty Chun had broken through to the next level. The statistics elder said slightly, go up and check. Chen Tianfei did as he was told, the 3 spiritual levels light appearing on the elder placed a name on a wooden board and said, this is your identity plate. Do not drop it. All your results will be recorded on the wooden board. Thank you for the reminder, elder. Chen Tianfei took the wooden plate. Xiaoying walked forward, announced his name, and received his identity plate. Man Tuoyuo was the same, but her wooden token was a little special because she had come to take the examination for the Pill Academy, just like the art exam in her previous life. Finally, it was Long Fei's turn. Many people in the surrounding area looked at him. Long Fei walked forward and said, "Southern Domain, Long Fei, your cultivation is at the 5th level of the spirit immortal realm." Just as he finished, the crowd burst into laughter. "Ha ha ha! Grade 5 spiritual immortal? Why didn't you say that you're at the 9th grade of the flying immortal stage? Why don't you go to heaven?" Long Fei's gaze tightened and said coldly, "You like to ridicule me that much? 5th 8_8419/23572020." The auction became a sensation. The auction became a sensation. Basically, all the God Emperor City's walked to the person called Long Fei. The name Long Fei in Thunder Mountains was known to even more people. It was just at this time, it was used in ridicule as a despicable, sinister trash. However, everyone knew that Long Fei had entered the immortal realm and had not yet broken through the spiritual level. It was impossible to break through in such a short period of time. Moreover, breaking through the spiritual level would require a second-level fairy route, and it would be impossible to do so without a second-level fairy route. What do you mean, mockery? You yourself are in the immortal stage. Is there a need for us to ridicule you? Exactly. Don't come here and try to be cocky with trash in the immortal stage. Any one of them is stronger than you. You think you're qualified to compete with young Master Pan? That day, I was at Thunder Mountains and even said that he was the one who saved us, so I'm not ashamed. If it wasn't for Pan Shao who killed Lei Mo, you would have died a long time ago. Following Long Fei's words, even more sounds of ridicule sounded from the surroundings. The statistician elder also said lightly, "Brat, if you don't have the spiritual level, don't waste my time. Hurry up and get lost. Scram back to the South Horizon region. Immortal Domain is not a place that a person like you can enter." Ha! They were all laughing and laughing loudly. It was as if stepping on Long Fei showed their sense of superiority. At this moment, Long Fei did not speak and directly walked to the test black stone. With a move of his palm, power of celestial rushed in, and 5 rays of light from the spiritual level flashed out. 5th level spiritual immortal stage. The 5 rays of light were incomparably dazzling. Long Fei turned and spoke coldly. "Laugh. Keep laughing for me." Everyone's expression changed slightly. The 5 rays of light were like 5 palms as they fiercely slapped their faces. It was fiery hot and extremely uncomfortable. Chun Tianfei also became fearless, his gaze sweeping across, and shouted, "God damn it! All of you are laughing. Why aren't you laughing anymore? All of you trash. Are you even worthy of mocking my boss?" A 5th stage spirit immortal was stronger than most people, and the people who mocked Long Fei earlier could no longer make a sound. As for Long Fei, he memorized their appearances in his mind. It's on the death list. In the past, he didn't kill them because they prevented him from leveling up, but now, he did not have to worry about that anymore. He needed to level up and break through. Moreover, Long Fei was jealous of evil. Mocking him once? Break a leg. Mocking twice? I'm sorry. I'll send you to see the King of Hell. The elder shouted. What are you arguing about? Do you still wish to participate in the examination? Huh? The elder looked at Long Fei with contempt and said, "This is your identity plate. Take it. Don't think that you can be so arrogant just because you're at the 5th level of the spirit immortal stage. If you dare to cause trouble again, then you'll be disqualified." Long Fei secretly clenched his fists. Half an hour later, the statistics ended. At the right time, an elder whispered into his ear. In the distance, an old man from the sky separating clans stood there and looked at Long Fei with a cold smile. And then, the exam master coughed and said, "Calm down, everyone. This year's exam is different from the previous years because there are too many people and it is divided into 10 main exam grounds. Every single examination hall has once ranked in the top 1,000. Furthermore, this 10,000 examinees will participate in the ranking competition. The ranking will also determine the cultivation resources you receive in the future, as well as some of the Academy's special rewards. Next, let's split into groups. Soon after, the gigantic black stone screen appeared on the list. Long Fei, Xiaoying, Chun Tianfei, Man Toaluo had all separated. Moreover, the people who had signed up were the four of them in 4 different testing grounds. As for the other people who had signed up, some of the family disciples were in the same group. Chun Tianfei immediately hooted in annoyance and said, "Why are the 4 of us separated while the disciples of the other families are together?" The elder sneered, "You can give up. I didn't force you to take the exam, so you can just scram." Smoke rose from Chun Tianfei's head as he stared at the elder. The elder smiled and said, "What's wrong? Very unhappy? If you're unhappy, then just reveal it. Come on, come on. If you dare to even touch me, your qualifications will be revoked." Humph! It was very obvious that this was directed at Long Fei. Separate the 4 of them and leave them alone. Moreover, most importantly, many of the 4 of them knew each other. In order to flatter the sky-separating clan, they would all go after the 4 of them. Other than the exams, Long Fei and the others had to deal with thousands of people in the exam grounds. Obviously, this was caused by the sky-separating clan again. Long Fei pulled Chun Tianfei back and said, "The more furious you are, the more it falls into his gloves. Don't you think it's just splitting into groups? Then we'll divide it up. This is even better. We won't cause any conflict." This wasn't the time to panic. Fatty had a violent personality. If he was truly angered, he would charge forward recklessly. Fatty Chun said in a deep voice, "Boss, I'm really not feeling good. What is this test called?" "This is asking 100,000 examinees to encircle and annihilate us. It's so unfair." Long Fei said, "There is no fairness in this world. If you want fairness, then use your fist to break this injustice and establish your own fairness. The more they are looked down by others, the calmer they must be. Aren't they trying to stop us from passing the exam? Then we'll use the position of first place to crush them." Long Fei explained it to the fatty, but also told it to himself, because, in his heart, he was even more annoyed and angry than Fatty. It was just that he didn't reveal it. If a small exam was targeted at him in such a way, it would definitely obstruct him and cause so many unfair accusations. Right now, Long Fei wanted to do one thing. A punch exploded. Fatty Chun, Xiaoying, Man Toaluo nodded their heads heavily. The group was already out. And then, it was the secret plane. 10 arenas, 10 secret regions. In the past, as long as God Emperor Academy opened a secret realm for their assessment, they would be able to enter into the 10 great secret realms. These secret realms were all very special existences, or poverty, or the demon beast running amok. It was possible even for mountains of blades and seas of flames. As long as one passed the examination, that was fine. Whoever had less time would get a higher ranking and then proceed to the next round of the examination. "Boss, which secret realm are you in?" Fatty Chin asked. "I'm in the 7th secret realm. I don't know what's going on inside." Xiao Ying said, "I'm at the 6th. Man Toaluo said, "I'm at number 5. Long Fei looked at the big screen and saw himself in the last row of names and said, "I am in the 10th realm." All right, the 4 of us were admitted into the God Emperor Academy together, and we fiercely slapped the faces of those people who ridiculed us to the point where they couldn't even recognize our mother. In another place, "Elder Pan, we have made the arrangements according to your instructions. 10 great secret realms. The 9 great secret realms are the 1st-level secret realms, and the 10th realm is the 5-level secret territory. Even if that kid is at the 5th level of the psionic immortal realm, he won't be able to last long." Haha. 8_8419/2357021. The secret realms were separated into many levels. The secret realms were separated into many levels. The lowest level, the highest, was at the 10th rank. The Tianwu continent had many secret realms, and these kinds of secret realms were all independent of each other. Some were rich in spiritual energy, and some were incomparably dangerous. This type of secret realm usually had a lower grade, with many at level 1. Second level, third level, secret realms were very rare, and they were rarely seen even after entering the fourth level. The 5-level secret territory had never been seen before in the history of the Sky Martial Continent. How dangerous is it inside? Even the God Emperor Academy had not been verified and had always been within the seal. And this time, activate directly. It was specifically used to crush Long Fei. What? The activation of the 5-level secret territory. Receiving the news, Xiao Wandao was instantly angered and shouted, "What does Zhang Ti and I want to do? 5-level secret territory. Are you trying to kill all of those exam candidates inside? Old bastard, others can ignore him, but we can't ignore the young master." The green-robed elder's face was also filled with anger. The 5-level secret territory really will kill people. Xiao Wandao's expression tightened and said, "The Tong Tian Hall of Immortals is too much. They actually allowed the Pan clan to control the examination and even activated the 5-level secret territory." The old man said, "The Pan clan is currently in the middle of the sky, and they have already sent out the news that the Supreme God is going to make Pan Sheng a true disciple. If this news is true, then the entire God Emperor Academy will have to listen to the Pan clan. It's useless to say this now. Our top priority right now is to save the young lord." "Save? How can we save him?" Xiao Wandao said. "The 5-level secret territory has already been opened, and the young master has already entered. Then what should we do? If something happens to the young lord, how are we going to meet the lord?" The old man became extremely anxious. The 5-level secret territory was not a joke. Its level of danger was unpredictable, and it could die in there at any time. Xiao Wandao was also anxious and said, "Master has said before, we can't interfere with young master's test. Even if young master encounters any trouble, he can't help." "Master, you might have already anticipated this day." "Huh?" The elder shook his head. "Old man, are you saying that master's prophecy has already reached the 6th level?" Xiao Wandao shook his head. "I don't know. Master's cultivation is too mysterious. The last time I came back from God's Soul Mountain, he had been in closed-door training until now." Huff! The green-robed elder exhaled and said, "If the young master had injured even the tiniest bit of his skin, I would definitely not have spared the Pan clan, nor God Emperor Academy. As for the Heavenly Hall of Immortals, Master will definitely not let it go." Long Fei did not know that the place he entered was the 5-level secret territory. He only knew that the moment he entered the arena, his body suddenly sank as system beep s continuously sounded. Ding! Power of celestial points, 300. Power of celestial points, 300. Power of celestial points, 300. The speed at which the value of the power of celestial decreased was extremely fast. Moreover, there was only Long Fei in the entire secret realm. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for coming to Shuiyu. You have obtained 100 experience points, 100 power of celestial, and a special 100 points reward. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for completing the quest Fight for first place. Level S. Reward 1,000,000 experience points, 10,000 power of celestial. Once in the celestial item lottery, skill level +1. Damn, Shuiyu. It's a quest. Long Fei muttered as he looked at the gigantic snow mountain range in front of him. The cold wind that blew on his body felt like it was being sliced by knives. The pain was unbearable. Moreover, the stronger the cold wind was, the faster his power of celestial would drop its value. "Pan Sheng, is this your trick again?" Long Fei sneered and said, "Let's wait and see." Finished. Long Fei took a step forward, and it was also in that instant. Roar! With a loud roar, without giving Long Fei any time to react, a gigantic snowman beast suddenly stood up from the pile of snow and swept his palm out. Bam! Long Fei was directly swept away and spat out a mouthful of blood. Looking at the gigantic snowman demon beast, Long Fei spat out a mouthful of blood and said, "God damn, even you are bullying this daddy, right? Thunder God is taking it." Buzz! A white silver spear landed in Long Fei's hands. The silver spear was about 2 meters long. Its entire body was silvery white, filled with traces of lightning. With a grasp of Long Fei, the power of the lightning immortal roots burst forth, and the lightning on the silver spear raged. Dragging the spear with one hand, Long Fei moved as though he was flying and crazily rushed forward. The snowman beast also crazily pounced over. Myriad Thunder Spear Technique. Thunderbolt Fury. Long Fei shouted in his heart. The spear behind him moved and pierced through the air. A bolt of lightning came crashing down, connecting with Thunder God to steal it. The lightning on the tip of the spear exploded and pierced the snowman's chest. "Break for me." Long Fei moved, his body sinking slightly. A strong force burst out, continuously pushing the snow monster back. At this moment, roar! With an angry roar, another snow monster leapt out from the pile of snow. Long Fei couldn't detect them at all, because these fellows were like white snow. They were disguised to the same extent. It was impossible to tell them apart. F***CK. Long Fei scolded. "You like to do sneak attacks, right? Let's see who can sneak attack who." Shaking the heavens, Long Fei roared out, and the idea began to move. A 10-meter-tall mighty heaven from a space ring rushed out, and before the mighty heaven had finished his attack, he was sent flying by the huge steel shield. Bang, bang, bang. At this moment, the Thunder God gun in Long Fei's hand pierced through the snow monster. His palm blocked the pike, and he shouted in his heart, "Fourth level Wushuang. Lightning Immortal Foundation. Moo! Million volts explode for me." A ray of lightning energy shot out, following the Thunder God gun, and exploded inside the snow monster's body. Boom! 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 The snow monster's body was roasted black, and its mouth emitted white smoke. And then, the system beep rang. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for slaying Giant Snowman Monster for gaining 100 experience points. Power of Celestial S, 100 points. Energy values, 1 point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Snow Monster. Schwa! Before Long Fei could come and check, the blood vein was already absorbed by the Dragon Salyer. It was extremely fast. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing a snow monster. Mission: sweep the snow monster. Quantity: 100 heads. Time: 1 hour. Reward: 300,000 experience points, 3,000 power of celestial. Touched 2nd level mission. Quest tip: if you fail the quest, you will lose 1 million EXP. Table of contents. Hint: players must complete the quest within 1 hour, or else the quest will fail and the EXP will be deducted. Holy sh**t. Long Fei did not have the time to react at all, and this mission did not give him the chance to reject. "I'm just wondering, what's going on? What task is it, 7th? What kind of damn mission is this? What kind of damn mission is this? Can I pick it up?" This mission did not give Long Fei any chance, and directly forced him to accept it. Moreover, right after the notification sound finished, a task countdown appeared in Long Fei's mind. 1 hour, 1,000 snow monster. Damn you. Are you trying to play me to death? Long Fei's scalp went numb. Just now, when he killed a snow monster, he could already feel how strong these snow monster were. Killing one wouldn't even take a minute, let alone killing 1,000 in an hour. It was impossible. Huff. All right. Long Fei heaved a sigh of relief. If I fail the mission, then you have to deduct 1 million experience points from me. So be it. A voice rang out. Long Fei moved, enchanted. 1,000 points disappeared. Long Fei had become a sky demon, and the current sky demon was completely different from the previous one. The devilish flames on the sky demon's body were burning crazily, and the power of the God's Bone taboo was spreading from its entire body. Also, this was the side effect of cultivating the God's Bone taboo. Demon sword, come out, swish. As the devil's sword fell, Long Fei shouted in his heart, "Kill." The devil sword combined with the devil body and the power of the god's bone taboo. The devil fire on its body was several meters tall, and its appearance was extremely terrifying. The demon's sword slashed down. The snow monster's head was directly chopped off. Long Fei shouted, shaking the heavens, "Wake up all the snow monster. Killing one at a time is too slow." It was impossible to kill in an hour. Mighty One's enormous body charged out crazily, causing all the snow monster within a 100-mile radius to wake up from their stupor. It was only a few hundred snow monster. Humph! Whatever. I'll kill one if I can. Long Fei rushed out with big strides. With the devil sword in one hand and the dragon's salyer in the other, he slaughtered crazily. No defense, only attack. After 10 minutes had passed, Long Fei had only killed 50 of them. Half an hour passed, 180. 10 minutes passed, and the number jumped from 1 to 250. Long Fei had no experience with these 250 because he wouldn't be able to obtain the experience of these demon beasts until the mission was completed. Only 20 minutes left. Long Fei was sweating profusely. He only had 10 spirit burst pill left, and that was only because the fairy stone root was constantly releasing its power of celestial. Otherwise, the spirit burst pill would have been exhausted. No way. Too slow. Even if you give me 3 more hours, I still won't be able to complete it. And Long Fei looked at his surroundings. Fuck, there aren't even 1,000 snow monster. How am I supposed to kill them? System, damn you. This isn't how to scam others. Roar. At this moment, a snow monster pounced over. Long Fei slashed out, shouted, and said, "Die." After cutting off one of his arms, Long Fei moved swiftly and leaped into the air. The devil sword in his hand ignited with gravity as he swung the sword downwards. Rumble! The snow monster was killed immediately. The perfect gravity knife also caused the entire mountainside to tremble violently. Deep within the valley, rumble, rumble, a large chunk of white snow fell, followed by the sound of snow collapsing from all directions. Long Fei's eyes shook as he muttered, "Damn, an avalanche." An avalanche? He looked up and saw that the mountain peak was like a massive wave. White waves rolled over and crazily smashed down, covering the sky and covering the earth, as if it was destroying the world. "It's over." Long Fei's eyes became misty as he muttered, "I've never even seen a snowy mountain in my previous life, yet I'm going to die under an avalanche this entire life. This is 2F asterisk king stupid." Suddenly, Yin Huang ancestor suddenly said, "Brat, this is not an avalanche." "Not an avalanche?" Long Fei was startled and asked, "What is that?" The scene was exactly the same as the avalanche in the movie. Yin Huang ancestor asked, "Take a closer look. What are the falling snow?" Long Fei's gaze tightened as he looked over seriously. Immediately, his expression changed abruptly as he said, "Snow monster, the overwhelming snow monster, would be worse than an avalanche." At first, Long Fei clamored that there were no snow monster. Now, the avalanche was not made of snow, but the snow monster, an existence that covered the sky and the earth. Long Fei's mind moved. Instantly reverting back to his original form, he shouted, "Golden Dragon Protector!" Boom, boom, boom. 8 rumbling sounds could be heard. Long Fei's body was covered in a thick layer of golden color. This was the Golden Dragon Master's defense. Once the dragon's salyer appeared, Long Fei's eyes became sinister as he said, "Damn, then let's have a good fight." Without waiting for the snow monster to come down, Long Fei used his rear legs and rushed forward with all his might. Kill. Upgrade. Long Fei needed experience, a lot of experience. There aren't many task reward, but 1,000 snow monster was equivalent to 10 million experience points, which could be leveled up directly. The level was very important. If he wanted to take first place in this assessment, he would have to break through to a higher level. God Emperor Academy. Tong Tian Hall of Immortals, Pan Clan. They were all crushing Long Fei. Only by becoming stronger would he be able to crush them all back. Long Fei roared, his right hand holding onto the dragon's salyer tightly. He suddenly raised it and shouted out, "Hurricane Slash!" Chua! At the same time, he swept up a few snow monster, and Long Fei shouted, "Dragon chop!" Whoosh, 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 asterisk, those few snow monster were sliced into pieces by Long Fei. The moment Long Fei landed on the ground, he was instantly engulfed by the group of snow monster and was surrounded by a narrow space. On a distant hillside, a giant snow monster was glowing with a golden light. "Boss! Snow Monster King!" Long Fei's eyes flashed with a light of excitement. At this moment, Yin Huang Ancestor was even more excited than him as he said, "Brat, killing this Snow Monster King and obtaining its heart is only one of the materials to level up. Quickly, quick." Yin Huang Ancestor was not in a good mood after the Dragon Salyer was defeated. This was because he had fused with the Dragon Salyer, so he wanted to make the Dragon Salyer the strongest weapon. At this moment, Fei came out from the bead. This time, it wasn't a full-body explosion, but it only covered up 3 spots, releasing an endless amount of enticement. The elves were born with an additional charm. Fei giggled and said, "Master, I've already completed the fusion of the power of thunder. I can release it now. Do you want me to release it?" Long Fei was just worrying that he could not find a way to deal with these snow monster. Hearing Fei's words, and then looking at the time of the mission, he immediately said, "Fei, release them as much as you want. Blast it until it turns the sky upside down. 1,000,000,000,000 volts of electricity, thousands of snow monster here." This wave of experience was enough to send him to the heavens. Moreover, Long Fei stared at the Snow Monster King in the distance and laughed sinisterly. "I'm going to kill you." Chapter 8. 8 chapters in the morning. If he had the time in the afternoon, he would still write 2 chapters in total. If he didn't, then he would write 6 chapters every day for the next 2 days. It could be considered a rampage. This month the sea will find time to blow up. Thank you for your support, brothers. 8_8419/23570023. If he encountered a boss, he would drop it. If he encountered a boss, he would drop it. However, the most important moment now was to complete the 100 snow monster missions. As soon as Fei appeared, she floated silently in the air and chanted something, as if she was an elf mage. Suddenly, the sky rumbled for a while before splitting apart. A beam of light exploded from her body, linking to the splitting sky. Crack! Billions of volts of electricity exploded, instantly spreading out and forming a huge semicircle ball that spread out, covering a radius of 5 kilometers. "Power of thunder, listen to my call. Billions of volts, boom." Fei said softly, and the lightning from the light wave lightning field began to wreak havoc. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The incomparably thick lightning bolts seemed as though they could destroy the heavens and the earth. It was also at this moment. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Snow Monster, number +1. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Snow Monster, number +1. Ding, ding, ding. The feeling of a system beep exploding in his head could only be described by one word. Hi Tion Tion Tion. Table of contents. Those snow monster roared crazily as they charged at Xiang Long Fei crazily. However, before they could even rush up, they were struck by lightning and flung flat on the ground. On the hillside, the Snow Monster King's face was filled with rage, constantly striking the ground, releasing wave after wave of angry roars. Incomparable rage. Long Fei began to laugh and said, "Grandson, come over if you dare. I'll chop you into pieces, huh?" Boom, boom. The lightning continued, and the number of people continued to soar. 10 minutes later, the number of demon beasts killed amounted to 900. There were only 100 remaining to complete the mission. Long Fei felt extremely emotional. If I had another 100 more, I would have gained 10 million experience points and broke through the spiritual levy 6 in an instant. Ha ha. 1 hour and 1 night. I'm only going to ask, who else is there? Who can do that? Pan Shung from Sky, separating clan? Long Fei laughed in disdain. Even though the spiritual level was only a low-level existence of a mortal domain, but Even if it was the elders of the God Emperor Academy, yes, they were only mad immortals or virtual immortal stage. To be able to break through a level in an hour, this sort of speed was even more monstrous than that of a freak. Ding, ding, ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Snow Monster. The current number is 938. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Snow Monster. The current number is 939. 5 minutes passed. The system beep also slowed down. At this time, most of the snow monster in the lightning field had already died, and those that weren't dead had already escaped as if they had gone mad. They no longer dared to attack Xiang Longfei, as this fellow was simply abnormal. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Snow Monster. The current number is 998. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Snow Monster. The current number is 999. That was the end of the beep. Feier also became extremely weak as she said, "Master, I've used up all of my energy. I need to rest and recharge myself." With that, he entered the pearl. Long Fei felt his heart ache when he saw Feier's weak expression and said, "Rest well. There's only one snow monster left. There's still 5 minutes left, so it shouldn't be a problem." However, Long Fei was stunned because he could no longer see any snow monster around him other than the one on the hillside. Killing the snow monster was no problem. However, you have to kill them too. Now that all the snow monster were gone, how could he kill them? Damn, he's not letting me live at all. He's only missing one more head. Long Fei muttered. He was extremely unhappy as he muttered, "This is the tempo of someone trying to trick me to death." Long Fei looked at the snow monster king on the hillside and said in his heart fiercely, "I'm going all out." Following that, Long Fei shouted, "Grandson, grandfather is here. Do you want to take revenge for your disciple? Come on, come and kill me. Come if you dare. Are you ***king, a female, snow monster king? Watching your own little brother being killed without even daring to fart, are you still considered a snow monster? It's even worse than a pile of dog shit." Long Fei activated his taunting mode. The pattern was simple. As long as the snow monster king had any intelligence, it would be enraged and rush towards him. The mountain slope was too far away, so if he wanted to rush up, he would need at least 3 minutes. On the other hand, if the snow monster king were to rush down, he could at most use up to half a minute. "Damn it, I don't believe that I can anger you," Long Fei said confidently. It was as he had expected. The snow monster king was enraged. He pounded his chest with both hands and let out an earth-shaking roar. He then rushed down the hill like a madman. Roars rang out in the valley. The entire snowy region was in an uproar as well. Long Fei looked at the value of the power of Celestial and saw one spirit burst pill entering his body. He muttered in his heart, "There are still 9 left." He watched as the snow monster king rushed up the slope at an incredible speed. Long Fei let out a heavy breath. Phew! The HP of normal snow monster was 10,000 points. His strength and speed were not weak. From his estimation, this boss should be at least 10 levels higher. If these snow monster were a mortal domain 4 rating monster and beasts, then this snow monster king should be at least level 6. Just by relying on Long Fei's own strength, he was completely incapable of it. However, he wanted to give a try. What is the limit of the 5th level of the psionic immortal realm? He wanted to know. Immediately, Long Fei moved and said, "Golden Dragon Protector, return." The golden light receded from the surface of his body, but they were still protecting Long Fei, and their mission was to ensure that Long Fei would not die. His right hand holding onto the dragon sallier tightly. Long Fei's blood was boiling as he said, "Come." At this moment, the snow monster king suddenly pounced forward. With a movement of its body, it was like a gigantic snowball smashing down towards Long Fei. Walala! The cold wind that fell from the sky was like a thin willow leaf blowing on his face. It left a bloody mark as a huge black shadow pressed down on him. Roar! The snow monster king let out a furious roar, and its falling speed increased. Long Fei's heart trembled. Fuck, you're planning to smash me into a meat patty? All right, then let's see if you can crush me into a meat patty, or if I can stab your ass. Long Fei moved his left hand and took out the Thunder God gun. A 2-meter-long Thunder God gun could only stab into its chrysanthemum before exploding with lightning. That tempo. This. Long Fei shuddered. Just thinking about it made him excited. Baidu's search, half afloat thus. Long Fei did not leave. Instead, he stared unwaveringly at the snow monster king that was pressing down from the sky. He remained as unmoving as a mountain, and his heart had become a little nervous. The Azure Dragon ancestor shouted, "Gold Dragon, quickly protect the boss. If anything happens to the boss, I'll cut off your claws." Golden Dragon Master said, "Don't worry, as long as I am here, boss won't die." First, A_8419/2357024. Long Fei was very crazy. Long Fei was very crazy. The Azure Dragon was very scared, because Long Fei was their boss. If something were to happen to Long Fei, then everything would be over. Since their boss was already dead, how could they still play with birds? Moreover, Long Fei's strength had not been awakened at all. He was too weak now. Only the Golden Dragon could hear what the Azure Dragon Patriarch said inside the Green Dragon tripod, but Long Fei could not. Just as he had said, only when Long Fei finds the Dragon Domain would the Azure Dragon Ancestor say everything. Only when he found the Dragon Domain would the strong power in Long Fei's body awaken. Only then would he know everything and be qualified to know everything. Roar. The Snow Monster King looked at the motionless Long Fei and let out a contemptuous roar, ridiculing Long Fei, who was scared stiff by him, with a face full of pride. He fell even faster. Long Fei smirked. "Are you mocking this, Daddy?" "Ha. Let's see if you can still laugh later." The Snow Monster King's body pressed down heavily. "As expected. Sit down, right?" Long Fei laughed sinisterly. "Then prepare yourself to be exploded by the chrysanthemums." After locking onto the chrysanthemum in the Snow Monster King-S, Long Fei's body faintly moved, and the lightning immortal root's power crazily rushed into the profound practitioners' bodies, causing crackling sounds to ring out. In that instant, the Thunder God gun moved. Long Fei shouted sinisterly, "Let's go with the chrysanthemum blossom explosion. 1,000-year kill." Thunder Gods burst chrysanthemum. Poochie, the Snow Monster King's speed was too fast. He didn't have the time to change his speed, nor did he expect that Long Fei would be so wretched. Awoo! The Thunder God gun accurately stabbed into the chrysanthemum of the Snow Monster King, piercing all the way to the end. The Snow Monster King let out a miserable scream. Its huge eyeballs were about to pop out. Even Long Fei himself felt his chrysanthemum tighten. That refreshing feeling was simply, he was about to ascend to heaven. When the Thunder God gun stabbed to the bottom, Long Fei was pressed down by its butt as well. His body sank as he was directly pressed into the thick snow, forming the shape of a tie. Why the word two? It was because his lower body was so strong. However, the Snow Monster King bounced off the ground the moment it landed. It was so painful that its entire body trembled and bounced up. Long Fei did not suffer a very strong pressure, but he still felt very uncomfortable. Compared to his discomfort, the Snow Monster King felt even more miserable. Moreover, this was only the beginning. Long Fei crawled up from the snow and said with an excited smile, "Are you mocking this, Daddy? Are you even worthy of that? The level 1,000-year killing aura? The better ones are yet to come." With that, Long Fei's idea moved and roared out, "Power of thunder, listen to my summons, explode for me." The Thunder God gun that was inserted with the lightning bolt suddenly exploded, causing the lightning bolt to wreak havoc. The Snow Monster King's chrysanthemum flower was about to burst into smithereens. Blood began to flow wildly. Strings and strings of damage above his head began to rise dramatically. "It feels so good. Ha ha." Long Fei could not help but burst out laughing. This move is really too useful against the demon beast that has descended from the skies. Ha ha. From now on, please call me Chrysanthemum Dragon. That's not right. Flying chrysanthemum? Damn, I better not have the chrysanthemum. Long Fei watched as the snow monster king Chrysanthemum spurted blood. The scene was too beautiful, causing him to feel as if his chrysanthemum was tightening. Seeing the snow monster king continuously wailing in pain, Long Fei cleared his throat and said, "At this time, I should be singing a song." Roar! The snow monster king was enraged. Being toyed with like this by a human and being mocked like this, it made it very, very unhappy. A furious roar. The snow monster king's body turned red. It was also in this one. There were 3 huge snowballs around his body, and the snowballs were spinning around his body. F***CK. He's infuriated. Long Fei's eyes narrowed, and he said, "You're mad with a single disagreement. Your temper. I like it." After being enraged, the speed of Snow Monster King, the attack would become multiple times faster, just like how Long Fei released Wu Shuang. But his defense would be greatly reduced. Long Fei held onto the dragon salyer tightly and stepped out. Shua! He lightly tapped on the ground with the tip of his foot, and his figure had already flown out. He stepped on the snow without leaving a trace. On top of the impulsive Snow Monster King's head, the dragon salyer was enraged. Long Fei shouted, "Dragon slash!" Roar! The Snow Monster King's eyes opened wide, and a thick giant palm smashed down. Ha! Long Fei's dragon slash was smacked down before it could even land. F***CK. Long Fei was in extreme pain, as if his body was about to split apart. He struck his right palm heavily and shouted, "Again!" And then he rushed up once again, shouting in his heart, "Level 4 unparalleled. Open." Buzz. 16 times elemental energy exploded. Long Fei's power of celestial surged and poured into the dragon salyer. Once again, he rushed towards it and slashed down. Dragon God is enraged. Thunder slash. Bam! The Snow Monster King slapped its palm down again. Its speed was even faster than Long Fei's, but this time, Long Fei's attack was not neutralized and slashed down. Boom! A critical strike wound. Long Fei did not try to defend himself at all. So, with his cut, he was sent flying once again. This guy is really strong. My body is about to split open. Long Fei forcefully suppressed the blood and chi in his chest and said solemnly, "I want to fight you head on. Bring it on." Boom! He rushed forward once again, but this time, he dealt even more damage. He was sent flying again. Attack again. Again! Long Fei's desperate attack technique was like a 7-wound fist, heavily injuring his opponent and also himself. This was also Long Fei's way. The path of never retreating. Time passed by second. An hour was almost up. Long Fei stood up again from within the snow, and his entire body was covered in blood. Staring at the Snow Monster King that was also covered in blood not too far away, the corner of Long Fei's mouth slightly moved. As soon as he finished, the dragon salyer in Long Fei's hands moved. Roar! Ancestor of Dark Dragon God roared. Long Fei moved as though he was flying. Moonlit step. Schwa! It was too fast. He directly leaped up to the top of the Snow Monster King's head. This was a place that the Snow Monster King's arm couldn't reach, and was also a dead end for him. This was something that Long Fei had tested after using dozens of times of experience of being slapped flying. "It's here!" The Snow Monster King patted, and indeed, it did not hit Long Fei. Long Fei held onto his blade with both hands and chopped down like a war axe. Dark Dragon God slash. Harvest. Ding. System notification. Dark Dragon God killed him instantly. Long Fei's heart trembled. He was excited. "You bastard, explode." Second 8_8419/2357025. Boom! Boom! The illusory image of the Dark Dragon God roared out. It swallowed the incomparably huge Snow Monster King in one gulp. Clang! A sound. A Thunder God gun with blood on it fell down. At this moment, inside the Dragon Salyer's Dark Dragon God space, the Snow Monster King was trembling its eyes unfocused as it stared at the incomparably ferocious dark dragon god. Its black scales were glowing, and its long dragon whiskers were fluttering in the wind. The two black hole-like dragon eyes stared at each other and arrogantly yelled out, "You're the one who mocked my boss?" With a thump, the Snow Monster King directly knelt to the ground and could not withstand the pressure from the dark dragon god at all as it continuously shook its head. It was extremely painful. "Mocking my boss? You think you're worthy?" Dark Dragon God was furious. He moved his body, which covered the sky, and heavily swung his black dragon tail. Bam! The dragon's salure shook and turned into a pile of meat paste. Instant kill. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for gaining EXP from killing Snow Monster King. Power of Celestial, 2,300 points. Energy values, 1 point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Snow Monster King. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Heart of Snow Monster King. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Anger of the Snow Monster King. Do you wish to fuse it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 1,000 Years Snow Crystal. The system beeped crazily. After the sound of killing Snow Monster King was over, the mission completion notification sound rang out. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for completing the slaughter of 1,000 Snow Monster mission, obtaining 300,000 experience points and 3,000 power of Celestial S. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 1,000 Snow Monster experience points. In that instant, a wave of experience flooded out like a tide. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. The time was exactly 1 hour. He had just broken through 1 spiritual levy 6. In the instant he leveled up, Long Fei fully recovered the injuries on his body. His health point and power of celestial value had all recovered to its peak state. Awesome! Long Fei felt the power of the spiritual levy 6 increase by 1 point. At the same time, the system sounded out again. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for coming into contact with the second level of the quest, Find a Frozen Nation. Mission level A. Time of mission, 2 hours. Task reward, 100,000 experience, 1,000 power of celestial, touched quest of the 3rd floor. He really did touch the second level of the mission. Ice Sealed Kingdom. Could it be that the snowy region has frozen an entire kingdom? Long Fei muttered in his heart, but what he was worried about now was not the mission, but his time. He was still in God Emperor Academy's assessment. Every examination had a time limit. If he were to pass it, he would be considered a failure. Moreover, he was one of the examinees in this manual, so he had no idea what was going on. More importantly, how long would it take for him to take the examination? No one told him. Just by allowing him to enter the Secret Realms exam, the Elder's eyes seemed to say, "You don't need to know the time because you will die inside." There was no doubt that this was Sky-separating clan's doing. "I don't care. Since we're going on a mission, there's no reason for us not to do it." Long Fei heaved a sigh of relief. He couldn't care so much, and the grade of this quest was getting higher and higher. Maybe there were some secrets hidden within this secret skill, or a secret treasure. First, do the tasks. I'm thinking about the assessment. Actually, what Long Fei did not know was that each of the secret realms had different time limits. The time limits inside the secret realms were different from the time laws outside. It could be 1 minute in the secret realm, but 1 day would pass outside. It was also possible that the day in the secret realm would only be a minute outside. The 5-level secret territory that Long Fei was in had a time ratio of 5:1. 5 minutes inside, 1 minute outside. He had been in the secret realm for an hour, and it had only been a few minutes. Although he didn't know what was happening outside the secret realm, he could feel the powerful fluctuations emanating from it. Haha, that kid is probably dead. I think it's about the same. The 5-level secret territory, the snow region of endless ice. Even if we enter it, we won't be able to escape death, let alone a spiritual level warrior. Panhu smiled slightly and said, "The 2 elders have done quite well. I will report this to the young master. Also, about the examination of our sky, separating clan's disciples. Elder who? Don't worry. The disciples of Sky Separating Clan are all extremely talented. With their cultivation, entering the God Emperor Academy is just a matter of words. An elder tried to curry favor with him. The secret realm they are in is the simplest of places. They will probably be out in a few minutes. They must be the first disciples to be qualified. Pan, who smiled slightly and said, "Very good." Demon Slayer shook the world. The Sky Separating Clan rose to power. Some of the elders of God Emperor Academy wanted to kneel down and lick Sky Separating Clan. Moreover, the people of Sky Separating Clan also entered the lowest level secret realm in front of everyone. No one dared to stop them, and even more so, no one dared to say anything, because they were the disciples of the Sky Separating Clan. There was no fairness in front of them. They were only fairness. What? The 5-level secret territory released a strong wave that young master, a disciple, sent a message over, causing Xiao Wandao to immediately be unable to sit still. No way. I want to go to the secret plane. Xiao Wandao was extremely angry. Even if my master told me not to interfere with Long Fei's assessment, but God Emperor Academy was too unfair to Long Fei. This was not making things difficult. This wanted Long Fei's life. Since that was the case, he couldn't tolerate it any longer either. And then, Xiao Wandao moved in the air, and in less than half a minute, he reached the entrance of the secret plane. His voice was low as he shouted, "Who is in charge here?" An elder looked at Xiao Wandao with a stern face and said, "It's me." Xiao Wandao looked at him coldly and said, "Immediately open the secret realm of snowy ice country. I want to enter." The elder said slightly, "Old Xiao, right now, we're still in the middle of the assessment and can't casually go to open secret realm." Without waiting for him to finish speaking, Xiao Wandao stepped forward and slapped him. "I am not discussing with you. I am commanding you, understand? Give me the open secret realm." Oh, he's so arrogant, beating someone up the moment he disagrees. I didn't expect the previous principal of God Emperor Academy to be like this. Humph. Pan, who walked out with a look of disdain. Xiao Wandao glared at him. "What the hell are you?" Scram to the side. He has a temper, regardless of who it was. As long as it displeased him, he would make a move to teach the other party a lesson. Thus, in the God Emperor Academy, he had very few friends. He didn't care about that either. Sister-in-law, 1-/ plus health, strongest upgrade system. Pan, whose eyes became angry, and she coldly asked, "Who am I?" "I am someone who can control all the mystic realms. I am the invigilator of this assessment." "Do you want the open secret realm?" 2 words. No way. Third, 8_8419/2357026. Xiao Wandao was crazy. Xiao Wandao was crazy. However, Pan, who was even more arrogant and did not cower at all, he would definitely not let anyone have the chance to save Long Fei. Xiao Wandao was the same. Xiao Wandao's eyes were filled with anger, and he said solemnly, "Others are afraid of your Sky Separating Clan, but I am not." Pan, who sneered and said, "Other people are afraid of you, Xiao Wandao, but so am I." Xiao Wandao, do you know your current identity? What rights do you have to become an open secret realm? What qualifications do you have to order the elders of the God Emperor Academy? What are you? You are just the former principal. Listen up, you are the former principal. Panu said very arrogantly. He had long since known that Xiao Wandao would intervene, and he had prepared everything for her. In the past, when the Pan clan had been oppressed, one of the most important reasons was that they had not been prepared. He would definitely not give Long family any more chances. Pan, who sneered, "Xiao Wandao, what do you think is bad for you? Why do you have to be the Long family's dog? How dare you? Why should I?" Xiao Wandao was instantly enraged. The thick flames of qi around his body roared like a fierce tiger. His gaze was gloomy as he stared at Pan Hu and shouted, "Today I will let you know why I am doing this." Yi Zichen moved his hands. Boom, boom. Explosions were constantly produced in the air. Then, Xiao Wandao punched towards Pan Hu. The corner of Pan Hu's mouth curled up slightly, revealing a pleased and cold smile. He did not move, nor did his aura fluctuate at all. His eyes were filled with disdain and pride. He had no intention of retaliating. It was as if everything was as he had expected. Just as Xiao Wandao's fist was about to land, a thick and ancient energy rushed out like an ancient mammoth. Stop! Rumble! A loud sound blocked Xiao Wandao's power. Xiao Wandao retreated back, his face darkened. Zhang Tianai, God Emperor Academy, the current principal, Zhang Tianai. He was also his junior. Moreover, ever since he had taken over the God Emperor Academy, he had received great attention from the Heavenly Hall of Immortals S, giving him a lot of cultivation resources. In these past few years, his cultivation had been even more unfathomable. Zhang Tianai walked out, carrying with him a few sounds of giant elephant trampling, and said, "Senior brother, enough." Xiao Wandao's brows tightened as he looked at Pan Hu's complacent face. He muttered in his heart, "How insidious." Pan Hu already knew Xiao Wandao's temperament. If they didn't say anything, they would start fighting. Thus, he had already sent people to invite Zhang Tianai, all to let him see, all to make Xiao Wandao look bad. Xiao Wandao said slightly, "Since you call me senior brother, then you will order to open the gate to the secret realm and use the 5-level secret territory for the examination. Have you thought about the consequences?" Zhang Tianai said slightly. "Consequences? The consequences are what I should have thought, not what you should have thought. I'm sorry. If the realm of endless ice closes, then it will be impossible to open. Unless the people inside can come out alive, then it will be impossible to open this mystic realm gate again." Xiao Wandao's brows tightened and said, "Do you take me for a fool?" Zhang Tianai said, "I'm not sure if you are an idiot or not, but the Academy has its own rules. You should be clear on this point. Don't talk nonsense with me about rules. Now, can I ask if you can use the open secret realms door?" Xiao Wandao said. Zhang Tianai said resolutely, "No." Xiao Wandao exhaled deeply. His tone suddenly changed as he pleaded, "Junior brother, just consider it as me begging you." "Please," came out of Xiao Wandao's mouth. This was the first time. Zhang Tianai was shocked, because Xiao Wandao never begged others. Even if the biggest one was him, he would never beg others. It was the first time he heard Xiao Wandao say the word please. He was shocked. At the same time, he was thinking in his heart, what is the relationship between him and that kid from Long family? He shouldn't have any relation to the Long family at all. Why is he begging for someone for the sake of the brat from the Long family? It was also at this time. Pan Hu laughed coldly. "You need to look like you're begging others. Are you begging others?" Zhang Tianya's heart trembled. Cluck, cluck. Xiao Wandao clenched both of his fists tightly. With a loud popping sound, he kneeled on the ground, looked at Zhang Tianai, and said, "Junior brother, I beg of you, open secret realm's gate to let me in." "Kneel down." Zhang Tianai was even more shocked in his heart. He actually kneeled down for the sake of the Long family brat. One had to know. Back then, when he was facing the supreme god of Tong Tian Hall of Immortals, he did not kneel, but he actually kneeled for Long Fei. The shock in his heart was indescribable. "Ha ha ha! Ha ha!" Pan Hu laughed complacently. He pointed at Xiao Wandao, who was kneeling on the ground, and laughed. "Did you see that? The previous headmaster knelt down, huh?" The few elders beside him burst out in laughter. Zhang Tianya's voice sunk as he shouted, "Enough!" A pleased cold smile still hung on Pan Hu's face as he thought in his heart. Young master is indeed young master. Everything is within his expectations. Zhang Tianai slightly said, "Open secret realm." Xiao Wandao was his senior brother. Putting that aside, just by the fact that he was the previous principal of God Emperor Academy, Su Yun had to respect him. Pan Hu followed. "Great principal, I'm afraid this won't do, right?" Zhang Tianai glared and said, "Pan Hu, you're meddling in too many things. If something happens, I'll bear the responsibility." Pan Hu smiled slightly and said, "It's not that I care too much. It's just that, Chief Dean, you should know what you're doing. You should know that you should stand over there and not ruin your future just because of a decision." Zhang Tianai was angry in his heart. At the same time, he was weighing the pros and cons, seeing the pleading look in Great Xiao Wandao's eyes. He still said, I know what I'm doing very well. Open Secret Realm. That elder who was in charge of managing the Secret Realm did not dare to hesitate and walked forward. At this moment, Pan Hu laughed coldly and said, Wait. Zhang Tianai asked, Pan Hu, what else do you want to do? Pan Hu took out an order badge from his chest pocket and laughed. I don't want to do anything. I just want to say, no one is allowed to enter Open Secret Realm. Holy token question of God. Zhang Tianai's face darkened. Xiao Wandao's expression also abruptly changed. Pan Hu laughed complacently. Not bad. Not bad. You still recognize holy token question of God. With this immortal token, I can abolish you, the great principle of God Emperor Academy. But I didn't want to. And then, Baidu's sister-in-law, A half. Floating Life's strongest upgrade system, Pan Hu shouted coldly. Whoever dares to go against Hall of Immortals, whoever goes against him, you all know the consequences. The holy token question of God was equivalent to the supreme God's imperial edict. Whoever dared to disobey will be chased by all the rankers in Hall of Immortals. No one could escape. Fourth, 8_8419/2357027. Holy token question of God, supreme. Holy token question of God, supreme. The surrounding elders didn't dare to move. They all knew what this meant. Zhang Tianai's brows tightened and said faintly, Could it be Pan Sheng has already been made a true disciple of the Supreme God? Other than the Supreme God himself, only a true disciple would have a holy token question of God. Xiao Wandao's mind suddenly shook. Pan Hu laughed complacently at Zhang Tianai. That's right. My young master is indeed a successor disciple of the Supreme God. He is the first demon slayer, and is also the world's most talented warrior. Before long, he will still be the successor to the Heavenly Hall of Immortals. Zhang Tianai, you should know how to stand there now, right? This time, Pan Hu directly called him by his name, incomparably pleased with himself, and incomparably arrogant. They did not place Xiao Wandao in their eyes at all. Xiao Wandao's heart was also thumping loudly. I never thought that I would actually become a successor disciple of the Supreme God. Seems like I have underestimated the sky-separating clan and have underestimated Pan Sheng. The personalities of true disciples and ordinary disciples were completely different. A true disciple would pass down all their abilities to him, and furthermore, there is a 90% chance that he would become the successor of the Tong Tian Hall of Immortals. Once Pan Sheng becomes the successor, it didn't matter if it was the Tong Tian Hall of Immortals or the God Emperor Academy. The entire immortal domain or even the entire continent would have to listen to his orders. It only took half a month. Sky-separating clan almost stood at the peak of this world. Pan Sheng was one step up to the sky. Zhang Tianai's eyes became quiet as he said to Xiao Wandao, Senior brother, I am also powerless. I'm sorry. Xiao Wandao's mind tensed up. He could not blame Zhang Tianai for this matter. His authority was not enough to surpass all the other Heavenly Hall of Immortals. Pan Hu laughed complacently and said, Xiao Wandao, do you want the open secret realm? Beg me. Kneel down and beg me. Weren't you the one who did not bow to the heavens and did not kneel to the earth? If you kneel down and kowtow a few times to make me happy, maybe I will learn the open secret realm. Ha! Pan Hu laughed complacently. Xiao Wandao's face was ashen. If possible, he really wanted to punch him in the head. However, no. Pan Hu looked at Xiao Wandao's ashen face and laughed even more complacently. Weren't you kneeling just now pretty good? Kneel down and take a look. Xiao Wandao's expression was extremely gloomy. Pan Hu sneered coldly. When young master was in Thunder Mountains, he said that anyone who had connections with the Long family would be suppressed. You want the open secret realm to save that trash? Then kneel down and beg me. It was very, 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 The few elders around him also looked at Xiao Wandao with disdain, all waiting to see him make a fool of himself. Xiao Wandao bent his legs slightly, the anger in his heart surging, but thinking about Long Fei and thinking about the dangers of the snow region of extreme ice, he decided to give it his all. Plop! He heavily kneeled on the ground. Ha! Ha ha! Pan Hu laughed complacently and said, Did you see that? Did you see that? God Emperor Academy's previous principal kneeled down to me. Ha! Kowtow! Kowtow! Pan Hu said proudly, Cow! Bam! Xiao Wandao heavily smashed down, a mark appearing on his forehead. Pan Hu said, One is not enough, and if it is not loud, we will kowtow again. Bam! He heavily knocked on the ground again, and the stone was broken. His forehead was cracked, and fresh blood flowed out. It's enough now. Open secret realm lets me in. Pan Hu laughed even more complacently. He pointed at Xiao Wandao's face and said, If I tell you to kowtow, just kowtow. If I tell you to eat shit, do you eat sh*t2? Open secret realm. Ha ha. Dream on. Not only will he die inside, everyone else who is related to him will also die in the secret realm. We want to return what Long family did to our Pan clan 100 times, 1,000 times more, ha. Pan Hu laughed madly. He had never thought of taking the open secret realm. He wanted Long Fei to die inside the secret realm. Xiao Wandao was furious. Furious, Pan Hu instantly stood up. With a single step, a powerful force crushed towards Pan Hu like a landslide. Pan Hu's face darkened as he became deathly pale. His cultivation was not as good as Xiao Wandao's, and he could not withstand such a strong pressure. Plop! Pan Hu kneeled down heavily. His kneecap was about to crack and was in incomparable pain as he shouted, Xiao Wandao, are you trying to rebel? Your father wants to rebel. What's wrong? Xiao Wandao roared angrily as his fist directly struck the top of Pan Hu's head, saying, No one dares to tease me, including the gods. The aura on his body was too terrifying. Like an angry lion, it opened its mouth and bit down at Pan Hu. Pan Hu was so scared that his entire body was trembling, and urine came out of his pants. He was scared to the point of peeing, and immediately shouted, Block him for me! Block him for me! Zhang Ti and I, block him for me! I command you! Pan Hu's mind was filled with fear. He did not expect Xiao Wandao to be a complete madman. He actually dared to act this way when facing the holy token question of God. If he was not a madman, what else could he be? Zhang Tianya's expression was very complicated. When Xiao Wandao's fist was still 1 centimeter away from Pan Hu's head, his aura suddenly moved. Roar! The power of the ancient giant elephant burst out, blocking Xiao Wandao's strength. Senior brother, calm down. Boom! The two forces collided, and a loud sound echoed in the air. The surrounding elders started to tremble from this force. They were unable to withstand it. Xiao Wandao shouted out, I can't calm down. His body suddenly blurred, disappeared. This time, Pan Hu's poop was exposed. Madman, it's a madman. Zhang Ti and I, kill him for me, kill him. The instant Xiao Wandao's figure disappeared, Zhang Tianya's strength also followed closely behind him. He blocked behind Pan Hu and used both of his palms to welcome him, saying once again, Senior brother, calm down. You have committed a grave mistake. Xiao Wandao's palms trembled. For palms met. Bang, bang, bang. Explosions erupted around him. If it were not for Zhang Tianya's protection, Pan Hu's bones would have already shattered. Pan Hu was so scared that he laid on the ground trembling. He had never been this scared before. Xiao Wandao was completely crazy. Xiao Wandao shouted, If you make a big mistake, you will make a big mistake. Who have I been afraid of in my entire life? This dog dares to tease me. I must make him pay. His temper was violent. The more he was teased, the more irritable he became. So what if it was a holy token question of God? Even if it was the supreme God who came down, he would still strike them down. Carrot, half, /float asterisk life. Zhang Tianya's heart sank. If Pan Hu was killed, then Xiao Wandao would definitely be hunted down by the heavenly hall of immortals. He was very clear on the methods used by the Star Spear hunters. No matter how strong Xiao Wandao was, he could not escape. Senior brother, calm down. Zhang Tianai used his full strength. He would not stop until he had crushed Xiao Wandao. Fifth, 8_8419/2357028. If Pan Hu died, then Xiao Wandao would also be dead. If Pan Hu died, then Xiao Wandao would also be dead. And then, Zhang Tianya's entire body released the power of the ancient giant elephant. The 9th level, gigantic elephant shock in prison. Open for me. Roar. A huge elephant roared within his body. A powerful pressure descended from the skies, directly crushing all the surrounding trees and causing them to explode. The thick trees were all crushed to the ground. The giant elephant's power was too strong. Xiao Wandao's mind also sunk. His body felt like it was buried in sand, and he did not release any of his strength. Zhang Tianai quickly said, Senior brother, calm down, calm down. Even if you kill him, you won't be able to do it. You can't save that brat from Long family. The snow region of extreme ice is too dangerous, and the 5-level secret territory is very vast as well. Even if you enter, you won't be able to find him. What's more, just now, there was a strong fluctuation in the secret realm. He should already be dead. Zhang Tianai said anxiously. Xiao Wandao was still trying his best to struggle free, but in terms of cultivation, his strength was not as strong as Zhang Tianya's. Furthermore, he had already reached the 9th level of the ancient giant elephant immortal root. Xiao Wandao roared. If Long Fei dies, then he must die too. Seeing Xiao Wandao being crushed by Zhang Tianai, Pan Hu scrambled to get up. Standing far away, he scolded, Xiao Wandao, you fucking lunatic. You actually dare to look down on the heavenly hall of immortals. Just you wait. Just wait and be hunted. Zhang Tianai shouted. Hurry up and leave. I can't suppress you anymore. Hearing that, Pan Hu's face turned white. His legs became weak, and he immediately said to the elders, Go, let's go. Xiao Wandao, I will definitely not be an open secret realm. Huh? Even if Long family didn't die just now, he wouldn't be able to struggle for long. Finished. Pan Hu crazily escaped as his butt flowed out of his crotch in an extremely sorry state. Seeing Pan Hu walk far away, Zhang Tianya's breath relaxed, and his body fiercely bounced back as well. He staggered backwards as he spat out a mouthful of blood. He was forcefully suppressing Xiao Wandao, so once he relaxed his aura, even if his body suffered from the backlash from the immense power, he wouldn't be able to withstand it. With a loud boom, he rushed out from beside Xiao Wandao. He wanted to chase up to him, but when he saw Zhang Tianai spitting out a mouthful of blood, he said, Junior brother. Zhang Tianya's face slightly paled and said weakly, Senior brother, stop chasing. Even if you kill him, it won't help. There's still Pan Sheng in Sky separating clan. He's a direct disciple of the Supreme God, and you yourself have made the heavenly hall of immortals unhappy. If you anger them again, what happens to you? He didn't say it out loud. All these years, it was he who had always been speaking up for Xiao Wandao. Otherwise, the heavenly hall of immortals would have attacked Xiao Wandao long ago. It was impossible to let him do whatever he wanted. In this auction, he actually dared to disqualify Murong Tian in front of so many people, which made all the elders of the Tong Tian Hall of Immortals extremely dissatisfied. If he were to kill Pan Hu today, there would only be one outcome, death. Xiao Wandao said in a heavy voice, I don't care what the consequences are, but if Long Fei dies, I will definitely not let him off. So what if he's a heavenly hall of immortals? When did the God Emperor Academy become the toy in their hands? You can play however you want. This assessment is obviously unfair. They are asking for Long Fei's name. Xiao Wandao said unhappily. During his reign, he tried his best to build up God Emperor Academy's own power. He wanted to escape the control of the Tong Tian Hall of Immortals. But no one supported him. They were all kneeling down and licking the Hall of Immortals. The Heavenly Hall of Immortals also directly put the God Emperor Academy in front of their toys. For example, this time, even the holy token question of God came out. What was this? Forcefully crush Long Fei. This daddy here is unfair to the Long family. What can you do? Xiao Wandao was very unhappy. Zhang Tianai panted heavily. Senior brother, that was then and that. You have to learn how to judge the situation and not be irritable earlier. Long family is not the Long family from millions of years ago. The current Long family is already crippled. And the sky-separating clan is so against the Long family. Just based on a single Long Fei? Can he block it? Even if he passes this time's assessment and successfully enters the God Emperor Academy, what about in the future? Would the Pan clan let him off that easily? You must know that Pan Sheng is now a demon slayer, and he is also a direct disciple of the Supreme God. No one dares to offend him, and the sky-separating clan is much stronger than you and I imagined. Pan Sheng and the rest are just the vanguard of the sky-separating clan, with the stronger Pan clan hiding in the shadows. You and I can't deal with them, and Long Fei can't too. Zhang Ti and I said sincerely, Senior brother, listen to my advice. Stop. We can't mess with the sky-separating clan. He was very clear about the power of the sky-separating clan. It was definitely not just Pan Sheng's power. The rise of sky-separating clan this time took 1,000,000 years to prepare. It was definitely not like the last two times, where they came prepared this time. Xiao Wandao's heart sank. He understood this in his heart, but his personality was always the same. He said, Junior brother, don't try to persuade me. You should know my character. Finished. Xiao Wandao looked at Zhang Tianai and said, You are now the principal, and your situation is even more dangerous than mine, so you should be careful. And then, Xiao Wandao's figure blurred and disappeared into the forest. What happened today made him even more certain that the Pan family would definitely take the Long family as their leader, and they would do it very quickly. If Long Fei died, then the next one will be the Long family of the South Horizon region. This time, the Pan family will definitely uproot Long family. He had to make some preparations. He had to report this to his master. Achoo, achoo, choo. Long Fei sneezed 3 times consecutively and cursed. Damn, who's scolding me behind my back? Am I too handsome? Or am I catching a cold? Both of Long Fei's nose had been frozen over and was shivering from the cold. Furthermore, after the power of celestial value had dried up, he did not replenish it anymore. The pill was extremely important to him now, and he would not use it unless he had no other choice. I should have kept more medicinal pills. Long Fei secretly cried out in his heart as he looked at the endless snowy mountain, muttering, This F***er has already walked for nearly 2 hours. Where exactly is the frozen end country? Long Fei had flipped over a snowy mountain, and now another one was Snow Mountain. Not to mention the frozen snow nation. He hadn't even seen a single snow monster yet, and he couldn't gain any experience at all. It was too hard. Another half an hour passed. Long Fei was truly unable to find it, and the system did not give any hint either. Standing at the foot of the hill, he looked around at the snow that was the same around him, and muttered, Where exactly is the frozen end country? Before he could finish his words, Long Fei took a step into the air, and his feet sank. Boom! His entire body fell to the ground. In that instant, his expression suddenly changed. The system sounded out, Ding! The 6th chapter, to make up for this, thanks to our brothers for their support. 8_8419/2357029. A system notification rang out. A system notification rang out. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for completing the search for the Snowy Ice Country quest. You have obtained 100,000 experience and 1,000 power of Celestial. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for coming into contact with the 3rd level's quest, Open the Frozen State. Mission level, time of mission, 1 hour, task reward, 1,000 experience, 1,000 power of Celestial, touched the 4th level of the quest, and opened a channel for the heart of Snow region. Another mission. None of these Long Fei was shocked. What he was shocked about was the scene in front of him. The incomparably huge city was just like the city located on a mountain in the movies of the Western world. However, it was sealed in ice. Everything was frozen in the ice. Activate the frozen nation. Break the gloom. Long Fei muttered to himself. If the ice is frozen, will it destroy the kingdom's castle inside? The layer of ice looked like it was sealed in ice, but the power of the ice contained a destructive power. When a person is frozen under absolute zero, with a light tap, the person would be smashed to smithereens. Even their bones would shatter. Not to mention humans, even steel would be frozen and shatter. If it's that simple, then it wouldn't be an A-grade mission. Long Fei immediately denied his thoughts. At this moment, Yin Huang Ancestor suddenly said, "This is an ice attribute seal technique." Seal? Long Fei was startled. "Patriarch, are you saying that you have the power of the seal and that the royal city seal is in this layer of ice?" Yin Huang Ancestor nodded his head and said, "That's right, and this seal technique is extremely ancient. It's truly strange. Ice attribute seal is extremely rare. Even in Chaos Realm it's rare. Why would it appear here?" Hearing Yin Huang Ancestor say this, Long Fei's heart sank a little, and he asked, "Ancestor, is there any way to remove it?" Yin Huang Ancestor pondered for a moment and said, "I haven't thought of it yet. I don't know much about the seal, but—" Yin Huang Ancestor glanced at Long Fei. Long Fei asked, "But what?" After a few more seconds of silence, the old patriarch finally did not say anything. Nothing. Actually, what he wanted to say was that the strongest seal master in the entire Sky Martial continent came from the Long family. A sealing that could give 1,000,000 giant demons to the seal, and it was even using some kind of great sealing and was able to borrow the power of the laws. Even he had never seen this kind of sealing before. The seal masters of the Long family were, without a doubt, extremely strong. However, Long Fei did not know about it himself. Yin Huang Ancestor did not say much. Long Fei looked at the city sealed in ice. How do I unlock the seal? How do I unlock it? He was in a hurry. However, the Azure Dragon ancestor of the Green Dragon tripod was boiling. He saw the city sealed with ice through Long Fei's eyes, and his heart was boiling as he thought to himself, "This is the dragon race's great sealing. Could it be that there is something inside the seal?" "Jinlong, do you know this place?" Jinlong replied, "I don't know. I've never heard of this kind of place. Moreover, I don't really understand the great sealing." "Azure Dragon, if you do, then hell boss." The Azure Dragon ancestor lightly smiled and said, "Boss's road requires him to walk on it. Our help will only obstruct his path to rise in power. He must awaken bit by bit." Long Fei could not hear the conversation between the two dragon patriarchs. Yin Huang ancestor also could not hear it. Long Fei walked to the foot of the mountain of this type of frozen cloud city and raised his head to look at the enormous city that seemed to rise up into the sky. Where is the center of the seal? How do I activate it? Long Fei was at a loss. Seeing the seconds that passed, he became anxious. "System, can you give me a hint?" The system did not react at all. Fire melts ice, but even a volcano eruption might not be able to melt such a huge ice city within an hour. Long Fei was troubled. Killing demon beast and killing a boss were no problem at all. He hated these kinds of tasks that require a lot of thought. The Yin Huang ancestor said, "The seal's book was actually derived from an array formation. If one wants to break the sealing, the first thing they need to do is to find the seal's eye, destroy its power, and then unravel the seal. Earlier, the idea, meticulously searched the entire area. There was nothing in the sky that was suspicious. The seal's eye could be underground." Yin Huang ancestor slowly said, "Listen to what he says." Long Fei was starting to understand. He turned around and looked at the ice plains behind him, which were incomparably flat and completely different from the surrounding ice. His heart sank. This is a huge lake. Could it be? Is the seal's eye in the water? I don't care. Long Fei couldn't think of any other way now. So with a shout, he summoned Yao Jintian. A primeval stone was inserted into the place where his energy core was converted to be and ordered, "Break open this layer of ice for me." shaking the heavens, understands. The 10-meter-tall steel monster moved its fists and smashed down like lightning. Rumble. With a loud bang, the layer of ice cracked and slowly spread outwards. This power exploded. Boom! Another punch landed on the original spot. Rumble. The thick layer of ice began to crack. The lake water flowed backwards. Rumble, 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 crash. With him at the center, the ice layer on the lake's surface cracked open. The mighty heaven-shaking lake instantly submerged the entire area, causing his entire body to sink down. Long Fei leapt up, held his breath, and stood on top of Yao Zhentian's head as he sank down as well. Turn on the lights. Buzz! Wei Zhentian's eyes shone like searchlights. Long Fei's idea spread out. This was an unfamiliar domain. He had to be careful at all times. After consuming a spirit burst pill, the value of the power of Celestial instantly recovered. The lake was pitch black. Other than the place where the searchlight shone onto, it was like a huge abyss, an unfathomable abyss. Long Fei tightly held on a mighty heaven and continued to sink. The lower down they went, the narrower the space became, just like the Great Rift Valley. Suddenly, Wei Zhentian suddenly could not move. Boom! Boom! Its body was too huge, and it was no longer able to dive further. It was stuck in a crevice. Long Fei withdrew his idea and returned him to the space ring. It was also at this time that he mocked and looked around and discovered a place in the depths of the earth that looked like a six-pointed star array in a flurry. Is that the Eye of the Seal? Long Fei immediately became excited and swam forward with all his might. At this moment, Baidu search. Half afloat, Long Fei's body suddenly stopped because he felt a huge aura, a dangerous aura. Long Fei slowly turned his body, his head a little numb. Standing in front of him was a prehistoric monster. It looked just like a Godzilla. It stared at him with its two huge eyes. Guardian Beast of the Eye of the Seal. First, 8_8419/2357030. His entire body was filled with a cruel aura. His entire body was filled with a cruel aura. Two eyes stared at Long Fei, their pupils not moving at all. Very strong, very big, how domineering. Long Fei's right hand moved slightly. In that moment, the Godzilla beast rushed forward and opened its mouth wide. Its sharp teeth were like many sharp thorns. If it was bitten, it would be cut in half at the waist. Holy sh**t. I'm not Ultraman. Why would I be so angry when I see him? Long Fei was dumbstruck in his heart, but his reaction was not slow. His right hand holding onto the dragon salyer, he retreated a few steps and shouted, "Do you think I'm afraid of you? Level 4, unparalleled. Open." Buzz. With 16 times the elemental energy released, Long Fei moved, holding onto the dragon's salyer tightly. The power of the Thunder Immortal Foundation burst out. Crackle, crackle. The dragon salyer's body flickered with a bit of lightning, and when the huge beast bit down, Long Fei heavily stepped down with his right foot. Moonlit step. Schwa. They directly flew to the top of the Godzilla's head, and Long Fei slashed down. Fury lightning, dragon god slash. Boom! A blade descended, slicing off a few pieces of the thick stone armor on his back. However, it wasn't hurt at all, only the missed damage. F***CK. What a strong defense. Without waiting for Long Fei to finish speaking, the Godzilla swung its huge tail and smashed down fiercely like a mace. Golden Dragon Protector. Long Fei bellowed, wanting to dodge, but it was already too late. Buzz. At the same time, Long Fei did not retreat, but rushed forward instead. Your father does not believe that your defense is that strong. With that said, Long Fei raised his blade with both hands and chopped down at the instant his huge tail swung down. Bam! Boom! Long Fei was smashed away, and at the same time, the Godzilla's tail was chopped off by him. Woo! The Godzilla cried out in pain. Long Fei also did not feel good. Although he had the Golden Dragon Protector, The chi and blood under his chest were surging, and his internal organs were all moved. It was extremely uncomfortable. I'll take your life while you're sick. Long Fei tried his best to hold back as he moved. 7th level form displacement transposition. Opening of the 7th floor of the seal tracer steps. Long Fei's speed changed. His figure became unfathomable and couldn't be seen clearly at all. It landed below the Godzilla. With the left hand of Thunder God Gun, the right hand of Dragon Slaying, and the mouth of the Devil's Sword. These 3 weapons were the strongest weapons that Long Fei had so far. Using the sword as a blade and his spear as a blade, his body sank slightly as the afterimages superimposed on each other. At the same time, he released a faint shout. 9 knives force. Upanishads. Azura. 3 silhouettes, 3 heads and 6 arms, 9 blades. Additional the power of thunder. He suddenly struck towards the Godzilla's abdomen. The powerful force penetrated into the Godzilla's body. The force of 9 blades struck out. The powerful force directly sent the Godzilla flying. Long Fei moved again. Dragon Chop. 888 slashes. Boom! Long Fei leaped. His figure was as fast as lightning and crazily slashed out. Swish, swish, swish. In a short moment, each of the 888 slashes was executed with full force, leaving no room for maneuver. The Godzilla did not have any chance to retaliate at all. It continued to roar, but this guy's defense is too thick. Even Long Fei's powerful attack did not kill him. Moreover, there was still more than half of his health remaining. There's no time. The mission time limit of 1 hour is almost up. If I can't break the seal eye, I won't be able to continue. And Long Fei looked at the layer of ice above his head, truly condensing rapidly. If he could not destroy the seal's eye, then the seal would also be in this lake. A thin line between life and death. Long Fei kept his dragon salure. Damn, this old man shall see just how strong you are. Both of his arms moved and directly grabbed onto the Godzilla's body as he rushed down with a heavy roar. The Godzilla's health was still high enough, but he was stunned by Long Fei. Even though he had been delayed by Long Fei, he still could not react in time. By the time he reacted, his pupils had already shrunk as he struggled frantically. But how could Long Fei let him escape? Go to hell. The golden dragon arm suddenly exploded. He grabbed the Godzilla firmly and smashed it towards the 6-pointed star's golden spot on the ground. Bam! Boom, boom, boom. One after another, explosions occurred. At the same time as the Godzilla collided with the seal's eye, its body was crazily being devoured by the formation eye and exploded bit by bit. At the same time, the power of the seal's array eye also quickly weakened. At this moment, the entire snowy region Mystic Realm was shaking. The surface of the lake trembled even more violently. The layers of ice quickly cracked, and cracks also appeared on the seal's eye city. Even to this extent, the Godzilla was still struggling, and Long Fei was still continuously pressing down on him. Boom! 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 Long Fei did not know how long he persisted on, but he heard a melodious voice sound out in his mind. Ding! It was also at this time. Long Fei's mouth hooked up and lightly smiled. His body also loosened and slowly started to float. He had been in the water for too long, so he had a severe lack of oxygen. The Azure Dragon ancestor immediately shouted, "Gold Dragon, protect the boss." Jean Long said, "Understood." At the same time, then he hugged her tightly. This kind of strange feeling was very warm. Long Fei had never felt such a warm embrace before. It was just like the embrace of a mother. It was like a warm hug. Warmth, happiness. It caused him to be incomparably quiet. It was an indescribable feeling. The golden dragon, the azure dragon, and even the black dragon were stunned. What is this? Who is she? Why is her strength so powerful? Even Sanlong didn't know. In this world, there were very few things they did not know. If they did not know, then there was only one reason. Yuan Long had never told them. Yuan Long was their boss. The green dragon muttered, "Could it be sister-in-law?" The golden dragon trembled and muttered, "It can't be." The black dragon muttered as well. Eldest sis clearly perished. At that time, Boss went crazy. The power of this shadow is too powerful. Does eldest sis have such power? None of us saw her body. Who can prove that she died? I heard my boss say that her eldest sister-in-law comes from a mysterious race. Who knows? Maybe a major power will revive her. 3 dragons made a series of guesses. With their cultivations, it was impossible to tell what the cultivation level of this shadow was. Who was the owner of this shadow? Yin Huang ancestor was the same. He was also wondering, who exactly was this illusion? Chapter 28_8419/2357031. The secret realm shook violently. The secret realm shook violently. All the examiners and elders of the God Emperor Academy arrived at the entrance of the 5-level secret territory. What's going on? Why are there such powerful energy waves? What's going on inside? At this moment, when Panu found out that Xiao Wandao had left, he changed into a clean set of clothes and rushed over. After sensing the strong fluctuations in the secret realm in detail, he coldly snorted in his heart. Is it possible that this kid isn't dead yet? That's not right. The one who caused such a huge wave was definitely not him. No matter how strong he is only a spiritual level cultivator. And such a strong wave of cultivation is at the very least an expert above the virtual immortal stage. That only means one thing: this kid is finished. The secret realm shook, and the entire God Emperor Academy was shocked. Because this was the first time he felt such a strong vibration in the secret plane. Not just God Emperor Academy. As the shadow of emptiness realm appeared, an elder flew down and asked, "Where did the violent ripples come from?" Supreme God ordered me to investigate. Even the heavenly hall of immortals could feel it. Panhu's brain flew up as he replied, "Reporting to Elder, everything is very normal. This should be because there are too many examinees in the secret realm, causing the situation to become unstable, so there shouldn't be any big problems." He did not say that it was the fluctuations produced by the 5-level secret territory. He did not want Long Fei to attract anyone's attention. And furthermore, he did not want the Supreme God to attract any attention. The Pan family would not give the Long family any chance to make a comeback. Not even a tiny chance. His eyes moved, and the surrounding elders immediately echoed. What Elder Pan said is wrong. It is only the fluctuations caused by the instability of the secret realm. There are no major problems. Please rest assured, sir. With us here, we can deal with anything. Not bad, not bad. The elder of the Tong Tian Hall of Immortals trembled slightly. He glanced at Pan Hu and said, "Elder Pan, you are this time's invigilator. You must grasp it well. Don't cause too many casualties. These people are all ambitious youths of the immortal domain. These are the words of the Supreme God." Pan Hu immediately said, "Pan Hu will definitely do everything in his power to ensure that this examination's victory will be guaranteed." "And that's good. Then I'll go back and report to the Supreme God." The heavenly hall of immortals elder moved and disappeared in the blink of an eye. The corner of Pan Hu's mouth drew back as he thought in his heart, could it be that Supreme God knows something? So what if I know? Now that the young master is a demon slayer, even the Supreme God has to respect him. What can he say against the trash from the South Horizon region? Furthermore, and we have a reconcilable enmity, what can he say? Pan Hu's heart trembled, no longer thinking about it. With Pan Sheng watching, the heavenly hall of immortals could do whatever he wanted to do next. Pan Hu looked at the 5-level secret territory, and the corner of his mouth slightly curled up as he coldly laughed. "Little bastard, let's see how long you can stay alive for." "Oomph. What did you say? Did that strong wave of energy come from the secret realm where Long Fei was it just now explode?" Xiao Wandao's mind tensed up, his fists clenched tightly. The disciple replied, "Yes." Xiao Wandao didn't know whether to be excited or worried. Excited because Long Fei was still alive. Anger was such a powerful undulation that even he couldn't withstand it. Could Long Fei even withstand it? The elder in cyan clothes spoke up. Old man, you don't have to worry. I feel like this is all part of the master's plan. Who knows? There might be a surprise when a young master leaves the secret realm. Now you worry about yourself. The old man said, you have offended Pan who and even ignored the holy token question of God. I'm afraid that the Tong Tian Hall of Immortals is already researching how to punish you. Qiu Wandao shouted and said, punishment me? Come on. All these years Hall of Immortals has given me a lot of punishment. Do I have to be afraid of him? Back then, it was right to reject the Tong Tian Hall of Immortals. Otherwise, these treacherous and despicable people would have no idea why they were plotting against me. He was not afraid of the punishment from the Tong Tian Hall of Immortals at all. Anyway, he was already used to it. The cyan-robed elder laughed faintly. Old man, don't forget, what we eat and use is all from the God Emperor Academy. If we are driven out, we won't even have a place to stay. Do you think the Pan clan can let him go that easily? Qiu Wandao did not think of this level. His brows tightened as he said, I want to see who dares to kick me out. In another place. In the snow region, mystic realm. Cough, cough, cough. Long Fei coughed continuously. Spitting out some water, he became clear-headed and opened his eyes. Looking at his surroundings, he immediately blurted out, why am I here? What about her? Just now, he had entered an extremely dreamlike world. There was a woman whose indescribably beautiful face had always been looking at him, but Long Fei did not recognize her. However, he felt that she was very familiar with him, but he could not remember who she was. Looking at the pitch-black environment around him, Long Fei heaved a heavy sigh of relief as he mumbled to himself. So it was actually a dream. The Yin Huang ancestor said, it was not a dream. The seal's eye was destroyed and a huge amount of energy rushed out. It was this energy that stopped you and saved you. Yin Huang ancestor could clearly feel this enormous energy. Long Fei shook and said, could it be that this enormous energy is really her in my dreams? But who is she? Why did you save me? Long Fei thought that he was dreaming, but when the Yin Huang ancestor said this, his heart sank again. Because it was so familiar, but he swore he had never seen her. After thinking about it for a few minutes, Long Fei still couldn't remember who it was. He had already imprinted her appearance into his mind. If he were to see her again, he would definitely be able to recognize her. Forget it. I'm too lazy to think about it. Long Fei rubbed his hands together and said excitedly, let's see what kind of good stuff it will drop first. The Godzilla must have died and been devoured by the seal eye. Long Fei opened up the system to check. Where are the items? Why? Why is there nothing? The corner of Yin Huang ancestor's mouth immediately twitched, and he laughed. The blood vein was swallowed by the dragon's salure. As for the other thing, Holy sh**t. Long Fei said bitterly, you don't eat all that many spirit stones in the space ring, but you just had to eat the thing that just dropped. Can't you only take a look at it? Yin Huang ancestor said, I'm tired of eating primeval stones. Change the taste. Right, there's something else. Take a look. Long Fei was immediately overjoyed. Ancestor, I didn't think that you would still have some conscience. You actually left me some things. Yin Huang ancestor said, I just can't eat it. Otherwise, who would leave it for you? Long Fei. Following the movement of the patriarch's idea, Long Fei saw something, an extremely exquisite item. Chapter 38_8419/2357032. It was a crystal clear item. A tear. This was completely different from Crow King's Phoenix Crystal of Nirvana. This one is smaller. Furthermore, Long Fei could not feel any of its energy fluctuations. Was it caused by that beast? Yin Huang ancestor grinned and said, I don't know. Anyway, I see that you have the space ring inside. You want to eat it, but can't swallow it. He tried several times, but to no avail. If he could eat it, he would have already eaten it long ago. Long Fei understood the Yin Huang ancestor's personality very well. And then, Long Fei opened up the system to check. Item. Goddess tier grade. Attribute. Description. All attributes were question marks, and there was no description. Long Fei thought to himself, what is this thing? Why can't I see any attributes at all? In the past, even if it was a question mark, its description would still show some characteristics, but this tier was nothing other than its name, Goddess tier. Long Fei muttered, could it be that my rank is too high, so I am unable to display it? The Yin Huang ancestor disdainfully replied, I come from the Chaos realm, so I have seen even more powerful things. I can't break it down, but this tier is useless. Ruh, Patriarch, did you say that because you couldn't swallow it? Long Fei laughed. Goddess tier. Hearing this name doesn't sound normal. It can't really be the tears of a goddess, right? Why did the goddess cry? Suddenly, Long Fei couldn't help but think of the woman in the dream. Could it be her tears? Huff. Long Fei let out a heavy sigh and said, forget it. I think it's best to not think about it too much. The Frozen-In Nation had already unsealed the seal, so if Long Fei wanted to enter, he had to go to the 4th floor. After a short break, Long Fei headed towards the Frozen-In city that was halfway up the mountain. Along the way, Long Fei secretly thought, I know how Man Tuoluo and the others are doing. The Pan clan would probably target them too if they were to target me like this. This was what Long Fei was worried about. Just as he had expected, Chun Tianfei, Xiao Ying, and Man Tuoluo were being targeted every single time during the examination. Many people were chasing after them. However, they weren't so easy to deal with. Chun Tianfei's defense, Xiao Ying's violence, Man Tuoluo's poison. Even if they couldn't deal with everyone, they could still protect themselves without a problem. Other than these, Long Fei was also worried about another matter. Time of the examination. He had already spent 4 hours in the snowy region. How much time had passed in the outside world? How much time did he have left? Half an hour later, as Long Fei walked into the Frozen-In city, the inside of the city was completely silent. It was completely empty, like a city on the verge of death, so quiet that it caused people to feel cold. The 4th level mission hasn't been completed yet. How can I complete it? Long Fei walked along the winding streets and looked at the surrounding buildings. It looked just like the architecture in the Western world in the Middle Ages. On both sides of the street, taverns and shops were available. Moreover, the goods in the shop were all placed in a neat and orderly manner, without any mess. Long Fei looked at these and said lightly, if a calamity were to happen to this huge city, I'm afraid that everyone here will be taken away in an instant, and either live or be killed. About half an hour later, Long Fei arrived at the highest point of the enormous city, which was also the palace of the city. The massive and towering imperial palace was filled with a domineering aura. The instant Long Fei stepped in, a system notification sound rang out. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for completing the quest Kill a Mage, Break the Soul Mirror, and Save the Citizens of Frozen-In City. Mission level S. Quest time, 2 hours. Task reward, 100,000 experience, 10,000 power of Celestial, Sacred Sword Heart. The system beep had just landed. A mass of black-colored flames floated out of the hall, and the space started to distort. Damn foreigners, to actually come to my world. Then just die here. Her voice was gloomy and mournful, like a shrew that could not be satisfied. The black mist exploded from the throne, and a beautiful lady dressed in black sat there with a staff in hand, staring at Long Fei with eyes filled with endless hatred. The staff in his hand trembled. Boom! Boom! The 2 statues on both sides of the hall resurrected. The 4-meter-tall sculpture held its gigantic blade and slashed towards Long Fei. F***K. We'll do at the moment there's a disagreement. I didn't even say a word. Long Fei let out a disdainful snort. Seeing the enormous blade in the sculpture's hand falling, his body slightly tilted to the side. Boom! A crack appeared in the ground. This power. Explosions. Long Fei frowned. The most venomous woman's heart is indeed as you say. You want to kill me? Then I'll go first. When the dragon salure in Long Fei's hands fell, Long Fei had also killed this kind of sculpture in the Thunder Dragon Temple. All he needed to do was to crush the sculpture's heart in his body. Immediately, Long Fei rushed over, thrusting the dragon's salyer in his hand. With a shout, he shouted, "Break for me!" How sharp were the dragon's salyer? The blade Chi alone had penetrated the statue's chest. However, it was not as Long Fei expected. The statue did not fall, and the giant axe in its hand swept towards him. Shwa! Bam! The giant axe struck the dragon's salyer, and Long Fei shook violently. He was forced to continuously retreat due to the power exploding out of the sculpture. What a powerful strength! Long Fei frowned. Ha ha ha! Puny human, now you know my power. The beautiful woman laughed mockingly. You think you can save this city? Stop dreaming. The beautiful woman's staff once again released a black mist, and she said solemnly, "Kill him." Long Fei did not miss out on a single detail on her. Magic staff. The magic staff has control. Long Fei's heart stirred, and he immediately shouted, "Multiple shadows. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk." The entire palace was filled with Long Fei's clones. You want to kill me? You think you're worthy? A large wave of clones blocked the giant statues, while another large wave of clones charged towards the beautiful woman. First, seize that staff in her hands. Illusion technique? The beautiful woman's eyes darkened as she started to chant, "Spirit of hell, listen to my call. Take these lowly creatures away." Boom! The staff in her hand glowed with a black light. Bang, bang, bang. Wherever the black light went, all avatars were killed. Equals semi/floating life plus. In just a short moment, all of the clones in the Great Hall had been instantly killed, causing Long Fei's body to sink as well. He continuously retreated as he spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. Damn, what kind of power is this? He couldn't get close. It was completely unable to approach her body. The power of the staff in her hand was too great. What should he do? Fourth, 8_8419/23570033. Long Fei really wanted to kill her. Long Fei really wanted to kill her. Because this was the last stage of the mission. She was also the final boss of this quest. It would definitely be dropped. Moreover, the power of the magic staff in her hand was too strong, causing Long Fei's eyes to shine. She swallowed her saliva and said, "It's mine." It was just that right now. Long Fei was not able to get close to him. Yin Huang ancestor replied. She used the power of the undead. Long Fei immediately asked, "What method does it have to break it?" The Yin Huang ancestor said, "There is no other way. Her death spirit force is extremely strong. I'm afraid she has deprived the souls of everyone in this city of their rage. Within that staff, the power that millions of souls have evolved is too terrifying." "What do you mean, there's no other way?" Long Fei asked. It was impossible for him to not have a way to break it. Any boss, even if it was a god-level boss, would have a weakness. There were no bosses in this world that were invulnerable. Yin Huang ancestor said, "If you want to break it, you must first shatter his staff, but right now you can't even get close to her. How can you shatter it?" Shatter the magic staff? Long Fei's heart sank as he stared at the peerlessly beautiful woman sitting on the throne. With an angry shout, he said, "Damn, I won't believe it even if I don't believe. Level armor, origin planning forest, open for me." Wong. Following the movement of Long Fei's idea, the forged level armor quickly assembled on Long Fei's body. Devil sword. Buzz! An intense sword hum resounded. Long Fei's body slightly sank. "I'll let you know just how powerful I am." Chua! The demonic flames on his body soared into the sky. The light on his grade armor flickered and landed behind a huge statue. He swung the demon's sword in his hand, and the sword intent of the infinite sword burst out. Boom! The statue was in pieces. However, it was also reassembled in just a few seconds. He really didn't die. Combo time. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. The previous move had been a probing one, a total of 4 statues. If all of them had been dealt with within a second, there would have been 3 seconds of free time. Who? Long Fei exhaled, the sword intent in his eyes, slightly closing. The infinite sword began to boil. The sword intent in his body also soared to the extreme. The 4 statues charged at the same time. Long Fei did not move. When the 4 statues' attacks fell, his body suddenly moved, and with a whoosh, he charged out. Shadow shift. Solitary 9 swords. Broken sword style. 4 slashes in a second. The power of the sword intent carrying with it the power of lightning from the lightning immortal roots. In that moment, Long Fei's strength exploded to its limit. 4 slashes. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Countless cracks appeared on the 4 statues. At the same time, his idea was tightly holding onto the dragon salyer. 10,000 swords returned to sect. Buzz! The demon's sword hovered in the air, suddenly opened up, transforming into 9 demon swords. Long Fei's idea exploded. The 9 swords merged together, forming a soaring sword chi. The sword chi condensed into a gigantic sword, slashing down heavily. The woman on the throne had a grim expression as she said, "With just you." He suddenly raised the staff in his hand, and a powerful black light instantly turned into a huge shield to block the huge sword. Long Fei grinned. "I knew it." The peerless girl's expression changed. The moment Qianjun finished, the dragon salyer that Long Fei pulled flung it violently. Little Li Fei, dragon salyer. "Break for me." This was his trump card. This slash exhausted all of his strength, and with a swing of the blade, the dark dragon god was enraged. He let out a violent roar, and the dragon spirit shadow immediately wrapped around the defense shield the beautiful woman had released. A crushing blow. The dragon salyer flew over. In that moment, Long Fei did not listen. Instead, he followed closely behind the dragon salyer and hugged his fists. Mountain hit fist. Roar. Looking down from high above, the violent King Kong ape image superimposed onto Long Fei's body, roaring loudly and resonating above the beautiful woman's head. 3 attacks fell at the same time. The power of the giant sword disappeared, and the defensive shield shook slightly. Then, the dragon salyer unleashed her slash with her sleigh, and the defensive shield broke. In midair, Long Fei's fists were already heavily punching downwards. What F*** King arrogance. Rumble, rumble, rumble. It instantly caused the beautiful woman to lie flat on the ground. Uff. The peerless beauty spat out a mouthful of blood. Her face was pale, and she crazily shouted, "I will kill you!" Not waiting for her to finish, Long Fei slapped him hard. "You want to kill this, daddy?" "Pah!" This slap caused stars to appear in the woman's eyes. Long Fei stepped on her body and quickly snatched the staff from her hands, then fiercely pierced it down towards her head. "Do you think you're qualified to kill me?" "No, don't." Mournful cries continuously sounded out from the staff. The beautiful woman also started to tremble crazily. Long Fei did not stop there. The person who harmed him must be killed. It was the same for women. The magic staff heavily smashed down, directly stabbing into the woman's head. Ah! The woman let out a blood-curdling scream. Her staff was shaking, and so was the woman. The black mist constantly spread out. "Ah, my strength." He couldn't take it all. Her body was also shrinking like crazy, turning into a mummy. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for slaying Woman of the Dead, for obtaining 10 experience points, Power of Celestial points, and Energy Values points. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Death Spirit power. Do you wish to fuse it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Death Spirit Blood Vein. Do you wish to fuse it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Death Spirit Magic Staff. The system's voice continued to ring out. Hearing the words "undead staff," Fei suddenly asked, "Master, can you give this staff to me?" Long Fei was stunned for a moment, then said, "Of course you can. Ancestor, did you hear that?" Fei smiled mischievously and said extremely excitedly, Thank you, Master. This magical staff came from my elite family, but I don't know why it ended up here. Thank you, Master. Please let me summon the treasures of the elven tribe. Yin Huang ancestor said helplessly. I heard it. Women are big shots. What is an old guy like me? Long Fei. Ancestor. So it turns out you are also jealous. The ancestor snorted and stopped talking. He was only teasing Long Fei. Just as Fei had said, this magic staff was indeed an old item of the elven race. No matter what, he wouldn't fight over it with Fei. It was also at this time. The staff also slowly transformed from being shrouded in darkness to being a holy light before finally flying into the air and heavily stabbing into the barrier behind the throne. Buzz! HTTP. // the barrier shattered and the entire city was shaking. Following that, streaks of light burst out and flew to every corner of the city. A woman dressed in white, exuding a sacred and holy aura that was above the mortal world, walked out. Her beauty was suffocating. Chapter 5. 8_8419/2357034. This woman was extremely beautiful. This woman was extremely beautiful. The beauty was indescribable. It was as if everything in the world would be ashamed of itself. The woman held onto the staff in her hand, and when she walked out, she bowed slightly and said respectfully to Long Fei, Thank you, my king. You are the one who saved the city of endless ice. From now on, you are the king of this place. You are my king. At the same time, the spirits of the people on both sides of the hall were about to fall. All the officials kneeled down heavily and said, We greet the king. Suddenly, Long Fei became the king. Moreover, Long Fei was shocked because he was not only the king of the city of ice, but also the king of that level of beauty. This meant that he could roll in the bed with that beauty, and he could clap, clap, clap. However, although he was excited, Long Fei's brain was still extremely calm because he discovered that the mission notification hadn't sounded yet, which meant that his mission wasn't completed yet. Moreover, the woman in front of him was indeed very beautiful. Her beauty was suffocating, but she wasn't even as beautiful as the goddess in his dreams, not even 1,000th of her beauty. In comparison, Long Fei was much calmer. Long Fei said, What are the limitations of being the king here? The woman said, There are no restrictions. You can't leave this place. You can't leave the people here. F***CK. Long Fei cursed in his heart and immediately said, I'm sorry, but I have no interest in becoming the king. You should point me out a path out of the secret realm. He actually rejected it. Why did he refuse? What's he thinking? Whisper echoed in the hall. The woman's face changed. You saved this country, and you are the king here. Do you want to turn your back on your people? My king. No. Don't make me sound so great. I'm not some great sage. I only saved you for a mission, and I never wanted to be king. Long Fei thought in his heart, I'll teach you a tree for making me give up a large patch of forest. Do you think I'm stupid? Can't go out. If I can't get out, then what the heck am I supposed to do? Long Fei was a person with principles. His principle was to not hang himself on a tree because there were too many women outside. The woman was silent for a moment, then said, But you saved this country. Long Fei said, You can treat me as a good person. If you're truly sorry, you can reward me with some of your country's treasures or something like that. I will not reject these things. The main hall was in an uproar. Greed. Despicable. You don't know how to appreciate favors. All in all, they just laughed at Long Fei for overestimating himself, and Long Fei was too lazy to bother with him. All he wanted to do now was to finish this mission quickly and leave this damned secret plane as soon as possible, because he was really worried that he would not pass the examination. The woman lightly shouted. The hall quieted down, and she said, Since you are unwilling to accept this country, I shall bestow upon you the highest honor and honor as a holy knight. As soon as her voice fell, with a wave of his staff, a ray of holy light landed on Long Fei's body. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Holy Knight title. His body had a holy radiance, and this kind of radiant energy could resist any attack that came from the dark energy. It was also at this time. The system sounded out. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for completing the quest with a reward of 100 million experience and 10,000 power of celestial points. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Sacred Sword Heart. Yin Huang Ancestor let out an excited cry and said, Sacred Sword Heart is also the heart of a Zhuge sword. Ha ha ha. Kid, you're only short of 3 Zhuge sword fragments left to recreate your Zhuge sword. Immortal Domain Supreme Artifact will see the light of day again soon. Pangu Sword. Ha ha. It will be shattered by the sword attack of the Zhuge sword. Yin Huang Ancestor was excited. Long Fei's heart also shook as he asked, So the Sacred Sword Heart is the heart of the Zhuge sword? Yin Huang Ancestor said, That's right. I won't be wrong. Now, as long as you find the remaining 3 pieces of the Zhuge sword, I can teach you how to recreate them. The Yin Huang Ancestor said, Since the appearance of Sky Separating Clan, in Immortal Domain's ranking list of weapons, the Pangu sword directly rose to first place. When the Zhuge sword fell, the Immortal Domain's name once again fell on the Pangu sword. Adding to the fact that Pan Sheng used it to kill the giant demon, it caused a huge sensation throughout the world. If the Zhuge sword was remodeled and reconstructed, then nothing would happen to it. Long Fei suppressed the excitement in his heart and then said to the lady, Please indicate my path to leave now. The lady replied, You are currently a holy knight in the city of endless ice. You should have a mount that is exclusive to you, which is why you are worthy of the title of Holy Knight. In the depths of our frozen end city, there is an ancient seal. If you are able to unlock it, you will obtain your mount. Moreover, the exit is right under the seal. And then, the woman took a step back and said, The entrance is right here. My brave warrior, I wish you good luck on your journey. Long Fei did not want any mounts, but Bing Hua was a pretty good mount. Furthermore, she was a dragon and could fly, so if he was there, he should be a holy dragon knight. However, he was going out. He could only go to the deepest part of the secret realm, the primordial seal that the woman had mentioned. In another place, the first disciple to pass the mystic realm examination has already appeared. It's the Sky Separating Clan's Pang Ju. He uses time to break all records. The second is also a member of the Pan clan. Third place, fourth place. The top 100 were all disciples of the Pan clan. They had the lowest difficulty level in the secret realms, so they wouldn't be obstructed at all. However, this was only known to Pan Hu and the few elders. The outside world, however, was in an uproar. Sky Separating Clan is truly worthy of being called a member of the Demon Slayer clan. They are strong indeed. Yeah, the top 100 are all their disciples. It seems that the Pan clan has risen to power this time. They are unstoppable. Haha, the strongest clan. Stronger than the Long family back in the day. The Long family back then was nothing compared to the current Pan clan, and I even had a disciple from the Long family taking the examination this year. I heard that he died in a secret realm. Haha. In the 7th secret realm, Chun Tianfei's body was covered in blood, but his eyes were very determined. Behind him were a large group of people. He was only 100 meters away from the exit. Xiao was also almost done with the secret realm's exit. Man Toaluo was the same. They were about to leave the secret realm, which meant that they were getting closer and closer to the end of the exam. At this moment, Long Fei stood deep underground and looked at the ancient seal in front of him. Baidu's sister-in-law, Half. Floating Life, strongest upgrade system, the Green Dragon tripod, began to tremble violently. His voice also started to tremble. This seal, Blood Dragon Ancestor. Chapter 6. This chapter is to supplement the chapter on Berserk. It is the end of the chapter. There was another Berserk at the end of the month. Thank you for your support. 8_8419/2357035. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.